I could resign Kyle Duggar, or I could just let him go. 27, 6'2", 220. Yeah. Yeah, that found. Am I live? Yes, I am. Okay.
Hey, Orange, thanks. What is it?
Oh no, it's my evil twin brother, Batty. Mellow.
Exactly. Thing is, though, I don't want to get too overexcited. There's a lot of Spyro games out there that I could make multiple videos about. We're far beyond the days of 2012 and me only covering the first 3 games for a... No, I'm gone. So for this special, I am going to stick to the main console games and the main portable games, go through each and every one of them chronologically, and then show you why Spyro games make me wood. Part 1. Purple is gay. Right, so first off, no
Purple
matter
is
if you
gay.
like Spyro or hate his guts, you cannot deny the iconic status of this box art. This color scheme, this art style, it's so PlayStation. It is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Why is that there? The story of Spyro 1 is that the press have gone over to the Dragon Realms to interview the dragons about a wretched old boil known as Nasty Nork, and they decide to make fun of him on live TV. Besides, he's got a real Kanye West over it. Now, how did Nasty hear that savage diss all the way from his house? Well, you have to remember, this was way back in the 90s, and everybody thought TVs worked like telephones. Don't forget, TVs had only been around for 70 years. Because of that, Nasty Nork casts a crystallizing spell on every dragon in the kingdom, except for Spyro, because... luckily for us, though, Spyro is purple, and purple is a sick color. Everything purple kicks ass, which means Spyro runs off to kick ass, which means the game itself would inevitably kick ass. Except his voice. That doesn't really kick anything aside from my face.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Is it because of his color? Did they give him a chain-smoking teenager's voice because no one would think he was cool for being purple? That's outrageous. Some of the best things in life are purple, like bruises and ringworms.
Destiny? I just want to kick some...
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure.
See, kids? Spyro is cool. He nearly said bottom. Inside the one, you skip around luscious open environments unless the game stops you with the big shakes. Smashing all of your nan's china with your head, gliding from island to island, setting sheep on fire, occasionally fighting a boss, cracking open old men. Run!
I'm getting a little...
And eventually run off to Nasty's lair to spit roast him. That Nasty Nork is toast. Yeah, he is. And honestly, that's kind of it. This is a fairly standard collector's on platformer from the time. Find as many gems, dragon eggs, and crystallized perverts as possible in order to unlock more hub worlds to find as many gems, dragon eggs, and crystallized perverts as possible. But Simon does have some tricks up his sleeve to stick out above your Banjo-Kazooies and your Super Martins. Let's go, Yahoo! In case you didn't notice, Spyro is a dragon, and that means he has 5 unique things that make the game work entirely on their own. 1. Dangly skin. Simon not only jumps like every other knobhead, but by hitting jump again can use the loose parts of his back to glide long distances. All the way to Scotland. This isn't only an extremely fun and liberating thing to do in every Spyro game, but allows the level design to focus not just on horizontal flat landscapes. Now you can have giant, sprawling, and tall levels based on verticality. You see that glimmering secret pile of treasure far out there? Well, if you get yourself high enough somewhere else in that level, and not from a weed, you may be able to reach it. It's not even a case of you finding the one single place to cross that one single gap, turning the glide function into a situational invisible bridge either. You can glide off of any surface in any direction, which means the designers can hide more secrets in more creative places, and gives you a breathtaking sense of freedom and adventure in each level, which can also be tense as hell. Whenever I'm about to make a risky-looking glide, I always have this inner fear of, oh my god, I want that stuff over there, but is my glide going to be high enough to reach it? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, so here I go. But once I'm gone, I'm committed, so I have to be confident. Oh god, I'm not going to make it, am I? Oh god, Simon, you're going to die. I'm so sorry, Simon, this is my fault. You're flying slowly towards your coffin, and you are seeing it happen right in front of your eyes, but are powerless to do anything. Oh no, please don't look at me, Simon. I'm sorry, please stop making me own my guilt. Please stop looking at me. Who? Bad breath. Instead of any clumsy jumps or precise melee attacks, Simon uses a wide, close-range fire breath attack to kill the enemy Norks or break open baskets for gems. Not only a really fun thing to do, but it looks good, leaves little black ashes behind, and basically guarantees a hit if you're facing the general direction of the breath, since it has such a wide girth. 3. The horse. Simon can use his horse for even more utility than the flame breath. It can break metal vases and baskets, attack basic norms no problem, and gives you a speed boost, which makes basic running around much more thrilling and quick when you get move on with your little fast. 4. Whirlwinds. If you jump into a whirlwind, the camera moves downwards and lets you look right up Spyro's hive. Small thing that isn't a dragon and has nothing to do with dragons at all. That wispy little skinny lemon is Sparks the Dragonfly, and he is your health bar somehow. Yellow means you've got 4 hits left, blue is 3 hits left, green is 2 hits left, gone is 1 hit left, and then... You keep yourself healthy by murdering smaller creatures that have no ways of fighting back, just like in real life. But honestly, I couldn't care less about health points. I just want Sparks to look yellow as often as possible, because blue and yellow look like spoiled cheese. I don't want Sparks to look ill, so I give him as many butterflies as possible. I will even go all the way back to the beginning of an empty level to top him up if I have to. No small animal is too far away for me to gut. In fact, we do it just for fun in our spare time, don't we, Scott? What? Haha, you could say that again. But here's where things get interesting. On their own, the moves that Spyro can pull off are pretty sweet. But when you mix them together, wow. You get big enemies that can only be flamed and armored enemies that can only be charged with your horn. Then you get enemies that are too big to charge but also armored from your flame, so a new weakness needs to be discovered. You get collectible dragon eggs that are stolen by thieves that are too quick to be flamed, so need to be charged towards all over the level while they go. This noise triggers my stomach acids. You get supercharge panels on the floor to make your charge get faster and faster the more time you spend on the panels, and the more time you spend on the panels, the further your jump and glide becomes. And it's because of that example in particular why I love levels like treetops, because once you get going, it's like... Yeah, most people hate it. But you're all morons. Sure, it takes me a few attempts to remember the route, and I die a few times every time I come back to it after a while, but the satisfaction of finding the correct starting point of a supercharge panel, jumping over to another island to keep gaining speed on another supercharged panel, and then making that one final gigantic glide over to the hardest to reach area of the whole game is ingenious and incredible to get right. The game isn't full of stuff like this, but when it is, it nails it and makes me go... I even like the little balance things going on with how you control Spyro, like flame breathing, for example, being an easier and safer attack to do against baskets and enemies, but the trade-off for that is that everything is slower and the gems that drop from them float up into the air and fall loose. But if you try and go for a risky charge attack as much as possible, you'll find it's not only faster, but then the gems will follow immediately after you once you break the basket or kill the enemy. I even love how you can charge different barrels towards the end of the game to attack the... Then you get those one-off bonus levels for each world that turns the game into a free-flying time trial of destruction. These will be known from now on as Speedway. Why can't Simon fly all over the place whenever he wants at any other point in the game? Because you ask too many questions. Usually it's most likely because whenever he does fly on his own, he can get... This is the reason people still love the original Spyro PS1 series even until today. It's the fine mix of all of these moves to make the series a blast to play, with a couple of extra references to other games for good measure.
I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe.
Once.
The charm of the world around you is off the charts too, and there's so much detail put into the tiniest things. If you charge into a bull instead of flaming it, it'll get stuck in the ground by its horns. If you move up a steep hill, Simon's walk cycle changes. Set fire to cacti and watch them shake the ashes off. Watch enemies capture smaller creatures and then get too distracted celebrating to attack you. See how terrified enemies look as you walk towards them, and once you look away from them, they... Oh. Seriously though, there are Norks everywhere, and nearly every single level gives you a different variant of them, which the game really didn't need to do. There's Norks with swords, Norks with clubs, Norks with flags, Norks with tasers, Norks with guns. Norks with guns. Easy does it, I'm too small and I can't reach that. Also, I'm British, which means you probably hate me, but it also means that I love saying the word Norks. The hills have Norks, the castles have Norks, the harbours have Norks, the fairies have Norks. You know what's sad as well? In the Reignited Trilogy remake, they got rid of the Norks with guns and replaced them with purple water pistols. Oh, come on now. What? You don't like seeing guns in your video games? What are you? A tuckwoke? And hey, I may really dislike Spyro's voice in this game, but the other dragons you rescue are another thing entirely.
Oh, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
How about you get fun? I love all of these guys. They're only ever on screen for like 5 seconds each, but they're the most memorable part of the game for me.
Ever since you're a wee puppy smoke, we've known I forget.
They mostly serve as hints and tips when you find them, even though the hints are all horrible.
Big enemies like this Gnorc with a club cannot be charged. But a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Yes, I already killed that guy to rescue you. What are you talking about?
Did you know that you get your longest flies by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
How do you think I got here?
Flame won't harm metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
This is World 2. I've been doing this for the last 6 levels. Are you senile?
Be careful, Spyro. This boss has many tricks up his sleeve.
What does that mean?
Some big Norks up ahead are very armored.
I don't blame them. They're very sensitive. The best line in the entire game, though, easily goes to Cletus. My man Cletus. What does he say?
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
All right. Fine, then. But you know what all of the dragon's favourite thing is to say, though?
Thank you for releasing me.
I swear that most of these smelly lizards say this line on repeat, and by the end of the game, nearly every single one of them says it. You want to see how many I found?
Thank you for releasing me.
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 Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
But don't worry, not all of them say thank you. Some of them say thanks.
Thanks for releasing me.
It's really a shame, though, that as a game itself, Spyro 1 is just alright. Welcome to my Arabian toilet. Yeah, despite my accolades, I actually don't think Spyro 1 is that great, mainly because of how primitive and stripped back it feels, especially compared to the sequels, which isn't Spyro 1's fault, but I'm blaming him anyway, and I don't care what you say because I'm friends with the super popular YouTuber Vsauce too, aren't I, Kevin?
You may kiss the bride.
Oh, hey, Tim, see, he even calls me by my real name, like my mummy when she's upset with me. You know, it's weird. It always surprises me when I remember that the first Spyro came out in 1998. This wasn't an early PlayStation title, and yet I think it feels like one. There's just something missing. I can't explain it. There's no gimmicks, no major surprises. I mean, I do love simplicity in games that are to the point, but with cartoony collectathon Johnny John Spyro the Johnson, the simplicity holds it back for me. Especially when you compare it to the following games, Spyro 1 feels really plain, just like how Crash 1 feels compared to Crash 2. And by 1998, Crash 3 had already perfected the Crash formula, whereas Spyro was just getting his feet wet. And when Spyro gets his feet wet, he dies. The collectathon gameplay loop is pretty basic, and it gets a bit samey for me after a while too, with not much variety in what you actually do, aside from more dangerous glides and slightly different enemies. And for as much as I love the visual style, the presentation itself also gets a little bit too samey for me. Aside from that, these things can get royally shitted off too. What are these things? Why do they look like that? How do they slide around so quickly? Get off me, you radish! No matter how many times I replay this game, I can never remember the names of levels or tell them apart by screenshots. They just don't leave much of a lasting impact on me. I don't think there's anything entertaining or that endearing about the characters and story. Spyro's voice, I think I smell a barbecue, makes me want to shit down a chimney. The sound effects feel really wet and sloppy without much impact or crunch.
Yeah, this game's always
The charge controls are pretty damn
doing
loose
better
and
than it
slippery.
was
The
yesterday.
charging jump height is shorter than a stand for a toddler trying to reach a sink. Glide can sometimes feel really heavy that doesn't always make its target even when you feel like it should. And then there's all the little things that add up over the course of the game. You hit these and then jump over them to get them again. Why? It's awkward. If you miss it, you just do it again. Waste of time. These things you retire on over and over again until they pop. Pointless. Why am I doing this? Waste of time. This rolling mechanic, useless. I only find it handy on these single dog enemies on this single level because everything chases you down anyway, even if you roll. Basic buttons. Then you have the soundtrack, composed by one of my favorite drummers of all time, Stuart Copeland. It's a soundtrack beloved by basically everyone. And I think it's... Oh my gosh. Yes, it's that Stuart Copeland, the drummer from the all-time classic rock band, The Policeman. And look, I don't hate them.
Visit Vanguard.com/fixed income today.
The music, it's good music. In fact, it's one of Barry Kramer's favorites, and he's going to play a little bit of it for us right now. I don't get the undying love for this game's soundtrack in particular. I think it's way too spacious and meandering for the kind of game that this is. And if you tied a rope around my neck and asked me to match which songs go with what levels or else you'll hang me, I'd say, I don't know. But then I'd say that anyway because I don't mind. Don't get me wrong though, when the visuals and music come together into a gourmet, creamy cereal, it's downright incredible. Now with added hair. My go-to example being Dark Hollow in World 1. But as a whole, I just don't dig the soundtrack that much. It's well constructed, it's well performed, and there are some great tracks here. I just can't remember most of it, and I don't think it matches the gameplay that well. And these bosses, these bosses, these absolute garbage fire F-tier bosses, F for very stinky. These are the worst parts of the game for me. They aren't bosses, they're regular levels that are really small with slightly stronger enemies that I wouldn't let near a school. First boss, Toasty. He's a scarecrow that is actually a sheep on stilts. Hit him 3 times, he does nothing. These regular dog enemies are more dangerous than him. Second boss, Dr. Shem. Hit his back after jumping over like 2 attacks. Third boss, Blowhard. More like blow chunks. Fourth boss, Metalhead. Charge into metal poles that aren't electrified. You win. Boss 5, Shark. Do some platforming and then question why the hell he has a regular French name. Final boss, Nasty Norg, is sadly just as easy to kill as any other regular Norg. You chase him, he does nothing, you win. When the edge of the walkway is more threatening than the final boss, you know you balls it. At least you got a pretty sweet reward for 100% in the game, though. You get access to Nasty's loot. The only actual free-flying level where you just explore everywhere, blow up everything, and steal all of his treasure. Thanks for the stimulus check, Nasty breast, and the credits roll. Ah, nostalgia. You know, even though this isn't my favorite Spyro game and I do have problems with it, I do like it a lot still to this day. I enjoy this game, and every time I reach this credit sequence and hear this music and watch all the low poly flyby level camera stuff going on, it lets me know that I made a good choice in picking up this game to replay it again. No sheep were harmed during the creation of this game. No, you're lying. You cooked them up and you sent them to... Spyro 1 is a classic, no doubt. But at the end of the day, even though I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, this is not the game that I replay whenever I feel like a bit of it. It's better than Crash 1 for a first attempt, but it still feels like a first attempt. You're a first attempt. Oh no. Who is that? The amazing Wendigo. The amazing Wendigo. No. Where? Look, they made another Spyro game. This is where shit starts getting good. Thank you, the amazing Wendigo. Where'd he go? Oh, fuck yes, you lads. It's Spyro 2. He's back, and I'm back. Look alive, everyone. It's Simon 2, Ripped My Ropes. Or, as I personally know it, Simon 2, Great. A garden. To be honest, I prefer the European name of Gateway to Glimmer against Ripto's Rage, but I will admit it is strange. Glimmer is just the first level of the game. You're never looking for a gateway to it. That'd be like if this was called Crash Bandicoot Sam. Straight away, we've got much better cutscenes with actual story in them. And boom, bang, bing, we've got new characters who are better than anything we saw in Spyro 1. You've got the Professor, who's a bastard mole, digging up all of my lawn. You've got Alora, who's a fawn, you dork. And Hunter the Cheetah, who always looks like he wipes with his fingers. Even Simon's voice is improved. Is this rain ever gonna stop? I forgot what the sun looks like. If you don't know, that is the voice of Tom Kenny. And if you don't know who that is, I'll give you a hint.
Now they've set up force fields to separate us. If you can find dials, you can use them to turn off the force fields.
One thing though, why, only in the cutscenes, does it sound like the voice actors are spitting into the mics?
That's exactly the point. Dragon is our only chance of stopping Ripto.
Better better than the bit of butter, so she put it in her bit of butter. Oh, there's also the new baddie, Ripto, who is very small and angry, and that's basically all there is to him. I never really understood the love for him as a villain, I'm sorry. And these 3 bozos accidentally summoned him to their world, so intercepted Spyro on the way to his holiday. Oh, sorry, vacation. Yeah, your best friends in this game kidnap you and hold your holiday hostage until you fix their big messy. Thanks so much, you woman. Donkey. Spyro 2 as a game, though, is basically Spyro 1 again, but everything is better. Literally everything. It's like jumping from Crash 1 to Crash 2, or pre-vomit to post-vomit. And I'm far from the only person that thinks that, right, Dradex? Because I hate Spyro 2, and Spyro 3 is somehow even worse. Yeah, you're right. There's just so many quality of life changes here, it's not even funny, and it all comes together perfectly to make me go. The glide falls a little bit slower to make long jumps easier, the charge control's a lot tighter and lets you jump higher while charging to make rushing around levels twice as easy. Sparks the Dragonfly picks up gems from further away, he eats butterflies from burned animals much faster than Spyro 1, the camera moves around you a bit faster, the sound effects are guttier and have more punch to. And on top of the updates to existing ideas, there's all of the new stuff added in too, like auto-saving, which was a massive deal, because back in those days, we didn't have it. Instead of the stop immediately and splat on the floor triangle move you could do mid-glide in Simon 1, now you have a hover move to give you extra time to correct a glide and give you a tad more height and distance at the end of your glide. Now, instead of getting extra lives from the life clam, while Sparks is at full health, you can stack him with multiple burned animals to eventually give you a life if you eat enough. Spyro can spit. Enemies now don't drop gems to collect and instead add to a defeated enemy tally that can help you unlock a temporary power up to that level, giving you way more chances for supercharging alongside brand new powers like spring jumping, projectile super breath attacks, and temporary flight in the level. And speaking of levels, you now only need to collect one thing at the end of the stage to beat it, with optional missions dotted around each level, awarding you orbs that can be used to unlock further levels, bosses, and secrets. And they can sometimes be centered around the platforming that Spyro does best, or something totally new and different, like hockey matches against this freak, various puzzles hidden around the stage, or blowing up a load of UFOs piloted by. And to top it all off, when you collect everything, you get a little show! The Speedway stages return and are exactly the same as previously. Okay, that wasn't new, I'm sorry, I don't know why I mentioned it. But now, after you beat the main time travel challenge, you can then freely explore the Speedway level without a time limit to find secret hidden characters to talk to, that then give you more unique orb missions that change up the gameplay even more. And then you can end your day by being a flag-burning, filthy hippie. Yeah, down with vegetables. Oh yeah, there's also way more cutscenes now too. Some for entertaining story bits, and others for whenever you enter and exit a new level, just to give them that extra dash of personality and depth to them. I like them. You see what the problems are in the level before you get there, help them out, then you fix the problem and see what happens after you leave the level. It's like mini stories within the main story. It's really cute. But as a kid, I hated the Aquaria Towers one. Poor little seahorse dying from lack of water and being baited over and over again for a drink he never gets. Just give him the damn water, you rats! This isn't Song 3! What's cool, though, is that every level has inhabitants to talk to now, and they're nearly all fully voice acted. The only other thing you could interact with in Simon 1 was the balloonist, and sorry, man, not only did you not actually speak, but you are only ever good for being a stepladder. Even the fairy checkpoint talks to you now. She's called Zoe, and she likes to pitch shift her voice at random.
What's that means if you get into trouble, I'll return you to this place. Each time you defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle. What's up with you, Zoe? Have you got a bad cough?
The water workers have boxed up most of our baby turtles. The boxes are incredibly strong. Oh no, what are we going to do, Gromit?
But then there's another character introduced in this game that will go on to become a Spyro staple. A character that dredges up the worst of a human being. A character that inspires fear, hatred, spite.
Bags. Hello there, Spyro. Would you like to learn to swim underwater? I suppose I could teach you for a small fee.
Moneybags is a round bell end, seems to exist where all at once on every level and only lives for one thing. Locking things away from you and stealing your gems in order to unlock them for you. That's all he is. He's a fat, greedy barrier that has no conscience, no dignity, and only cares about money. Must be funny. In a rich man's gums, he is a leech, a stain. He's an alt-right Winnie the Pooh that converted a generation of kids into anti-capitalists. And to be perfectly frank, he makes me want to get my killing shoes on.
Not the killing shoes.
Really?
In fact, I don't even think that any furries like him. Let's ask one. Oi, Adam!
Alright, E621, Spyro _the _dragon, space order, colon, score, enter. What?
See, it doesn't do anything for it. Oh, what's that? You want to sell me a trip on a submarine to get by a load of robot sharks? I don't need any of that. You're scamming me. Look, see, I don't need to... Okay, fair enough. Oh, look at you there, moneybags. Are you a little cold from the snow? Oh, no, wait. It's just your soul. My favorite thing to do with him is actually use a double jump glitch in level 1 to not only completely ignore him and his stupid bridge, but also use the same glitch to get on top of a ledge that I'd also need to pay him later on in the game to learn how to climb, and then finish off the rest of the level without paying him a cent, meaning that I can then afford his swimming lessons right after level 1 without needing to go into another level first to try and save up enough. This has been a money-saving tip with Daddy Caddy. Next week, we'll find out how to stop yourself from spending your own money by learning how to keep pennies in your ass. The levels are bigger and give you way more stuff to do and leave a longer lasting impression, but they aren't so big as to make you go, oh no, I can't eat that. And the music is miles better as well. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it sucks. Milkshake through a big straw. It's way more creative, zesty, multi-instrumental, and more percussive. There's even vocals on some of the tracks. My favorites being the one that sounds like a meditating Mr. Bean. And the one where it sounds like a really big man just ate something he didn't like. Then there's all the little monk dudes with their mouths that look like urinals, and they go... If you ask me, though, the award for best line in the game easily goes to... Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should kill that Yeti. He's so hardcore about killing an animal that he even goes off script. Kill, or by the...
Refresh the everyday with Mentos gum. Yes to fresh. In a world controlled by gas, there's only one way out. The Skill Power Core 40 yard equipment. It's advanced lithium battery technology, just as powerful as gas. Ditch the gas, keep the power. With Skill.
By the way, I have a theory about this game that I don't think anybody has ever brought forward before. Hunter is Ripto. And no, I don't mean just because of their exact same size. Other characters in the game are all like,
Can you help me tie my shoelaces?
and then you help them and they reward you. But Hunter, he deliberately bricks himself in igloos and hides orbs from you until you nearly kill yourself on a jet ski parachute. He won't give you 2 orbs that you desperately need to save the world unless you run around in a sub-zero cave catching crystals to amuse him. He won't give you them himself until you jump on his captured manta ray and follow a seahorse through a bubble of fart. He plays dumb, but he's not dumb. He has like half of the orbs you already need in his pockets and just doesn't give them to you because Lamau. And have you ever noticed how you never see them together on the same screen? He's the bad guy here. He is Ripto. I also love the way that so many characters have that low poly PS1 over-exaggerated head and mouth shape too. They all look like talking drum cymbals. Hi Hunter, I'm Spyro, and I want to burn all of your incriminating documents. There's even this one level where you run around and find all of the bones of a skeleton to put him back together. How beautiful is that?
It's so good to see my friend looking healthy again.
Does he? Oh no, what does that mean? What's gonna happen? Yes, I had to sit through the whole thing, so you had to as well. Now, let's move on to...
I think he wants to dance for you.
Oh, no. Oh, hello. My favorite part of the whole game, though, is when you get to World 2, Autumn Plains, and find this level called Cess, where there are all these slugs on the ground in the middle of a civil war with these birds from the sky, and you help out the slugs by destroying the birds' ammunition building.
Let's not forget, don't be British around Hatsune Miku.
Whoa! What an explosion! My disc is a little scratched. But then immediately after that is another level called Breezy Windpipe, where you
think you
go
got
to the
that.
homeland
I think
of the
that's out of
birds
bounds.
in that same war, and then you help them get their airship running again so they're able to counterattack, ensuring that the war can rage on for many years to come. Spyro is indifferent to global relations. He is a war profiteer. I love Zephyr anyway, though, because there are these baby birds that spit ammunition from mother birds, dropping it from the sky into their mouths, and when they don't have anything, they're like, Mummy, Mummy, I'm hungry, feed me, Mummy. Oh, you're hungry, are you? Yeah, well, I've got your mummy right here, you little scab. Then there's a bit where there's a slug named Romeo and a bird named Juliet in a tragic star-crossed love on the battlefield, and you need to reunite them in this extremely fun Magic Seed platforming puzzle, where different platforms grow in different soil, and when you want the seed back, the soil clenches like a bumhole, and after solving the puzzle, Juliet sounds like this.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Oh, this is Romeo.
There's just so many fantastic moments here. How about that mission where you have to get the professor's pencil back by creating an egg with a nest that spits out a seed to go into a plant pot that spits out a rubber duck that goes to the duck family to give you a turnip? What? Okay, which then needs to go into a cauldron which spits out a coin that goes into a water fountain that gives you a very soggy pencil. It's so good, man. And how about the secret agent that sounds like, I'm a secret agent? And when he's looking around to make sure you aren't following him, he does that. That is how I'm looking around for things for the rest of my life. And the robots in Metropolis, they're adorable. Listen to them.
These elevators need serious work, see?
Even the bosses are an improvement. There's only 3 this time, but it doesn't matter because they all make up for the wet jokes that were in Spyro 1. They actually have attacks. They're fun fights, and in Gulp's case, even a little bit challenging. This is one of the better bosses in the whole Spyro series, actually. As great as Simon 2 is, though, I don't think it's perfect. In fact, there's a couple of major real low points for me. I'm taking this as way too hot. And Pushing Up Roses can name like 50 of them, can't you?
Oh, virus.
No, the mission is Hurricanes, where you have to put lightning stones into power generators and then have to defeat the thieves that keep removing them and throwing them around the level. I mean, look, I'm very glad that I finally get some representation. But man, does this take forever. It isn't difficult, just immeasurably boring. This part here where you need to flame fish into this...
We weren't sad.
I
The
can't
fuck?
stand this bit. You need to get 10 fish in his mouth, and any red fish reset the counter by like 1 billion fish. But by the time you see the yellow ones and decide that they're the ones to flame, it's too late to flame and you miss the mouth. So you end up prematurely hitting flame all the time, thinking that you're flaming a yellow fish, but it's actually a red fish. Then, oh god, not that one, Spyro the Dragon! Nowadays, I just cheat this bit by looking directly into the water in first-person mode to see what fish is coming. Well, is it cheating? I'm just using what the game gives me. I'm a good boy. I wash under my arms. And of course, there's another bit, which is possibly the most infamous part of the whole game. But before we get there, I just have to ask you a quick question. Trouble with the trolley. Okay, well, actually, get ready for me to be a contrarian. This isn't hard. It's not easy, but it's really not that bad. I don't know what you're talking about, you whinging wets. In fact, while recording footage for this video, I finished the mission first time and then had to start the mission again and deliberately throw up in order to record the guy saying, trouble with the trolley, eh? I mean, I don't know what to add. It just isn't that hard. And you know what else isn't? The turtle soup mission. Yeah, I said it. What's the big deal? Just keep looping around the pipes that they spawn from and then knock the turtles away if you come across them. They'll bounce all over the place and it gives you plenty of time to get them back in the water. What's the big deal, you baby bitch buggers? And the dinosaur egg hatching and eating the village people. Yeah, sure, I failed this one like once or twice, but once you get the pattern down, it's just like Simon Says, but if Simon only had 8 Simon noises for you to copy, and then Simon played the same Simons every time you Simon. And what about the bombing genie mission in Scorch? Not a big deal either. Did it on my first go. Here's a tip for you if you're struggling. Stop charging after him and stick to the wall so that you avoid most of the bombs bouncing off of them. You can't rush this bit, just go slowly, especially around the steps. You're gonna hate it if you try charging, trust me. Now, mate, you wanna know what the worst mission of the game is?
Will you escort me past those earth shapers?
No. How about instead you suck my nuts? I hate this. I hate this so much. Why didn't you remind me I had to do this, Fushi?
It's just such a bad travel idea. You're saying.
Everything they say about VTubers is right. So you've got this motherless goat who has a
True, I should know, I know a few.
rent on a new pair of concrete Nikes, and even though the goat is literally next door to where Hunter is, he momentarily forgets how to steer his own legs and ends up going on a cross-country marathon instead, deliberately walking right into all of the enemies, changing his mind on where he's going all the time, getting in the way of you, rushing around, and you can't get rid of the enemies. All you can do is knock them back temporarily. So getting them all out of the way of him in advance won't work. And the best thing, the 10 out of 10 game of the year, best thing that happened is that if you finish this mission, Hunter then says, thanks for getting me out, Spyro, but you need to learn a new move to help me kill all of these monsters, so come back and find me again when you learn it. So you carry on playing the game, learn the move, come back to the level to help out Hunter, and he couldn't wait 5 minutes to put his Adidas stones back on, meaning you've got to do the first part of the mission all over again? What's that? I already have this orb? I had no idea. But anyway, you finish the game and do everything. Get the orbs, grab the talismans, run away from this horrific face, and wonder who decided to bring back the bush munchers from Spyro 1 so you can place an Aztec curse on their family. You finally beat Ripto, and he just accepts his death. Oh, screw it, I can't win. Everybody celebrates, Hunter sits on Moneybag's face, and we finally go on a holiday in a lovely final cutscene. It isn't a cutscene, I got you. Dragon Shores is the final level that is literally just a fun fair that rewards you with tickets in order to unlock a theater to watch the game's cutscenes again. Internet. You play a game of water dunking, ride a roller coaster with a cannon to pop balloons, go to a duck shooting gallery, and never question why the biggest enemies from the first game are now welcoming you into a dark room inside a theme park with no one else in. And you know what? I also really like the little love boat tunnel because it taught all the kids that play this game that you can love whoever you want. You can love the same gender. You can find love even if you're a smelly, hairy Yeti. If that's not your style, you can be on your own. You can have a three-way. What? You can love children. Excuse me? And after all of this, if you found every gem and every orb in the game, you unlock a door that grants you a permanent super breath attack, which is now obsolete because the game is already over. Screw off. Unless you do a Tiger Woods. Yeah, just quit the game and then start a new game that overrides the completed save file, and voila, you now have super breath from the minute you start the game. How sick is that? And that's not all that you can cheat. Do you want to make Simon look like he has leprosy? Because you can do that. What? That's still not enough? But how about a big head mode? Yeah, you can do that too. Finally, a game character just for me. What? That's still not enough? Well, how about this?
No, the fuck he didn't.
Spyro in a trouser press. The end. Okay, so where are we? 1, 2, 3. Oh, look everyone! It's my good friend Face. We are now on game number 3, which is how many straws I need to drink my orange juice. You are so full of fact. Give me another one. Most people buy one face wash, but I had to buy 3. You are full of surprises, Face, and so is this game. Huh? What? Oh yes, I forgot. I'm a PS1 game. And now I'm finally all on my own, safe from everybody around me, and nobody else can break in. Hello, I'm Scott! Welcome to my lab. Oh dear, and today I've been sponsored by me. Yes, me. I've been sponsored by so many things that now I can finally afford myself. It's the collectible world of Cat Icarus, a limited edition exclusive Blu-ray set only available on the pixelempire.com/caddy in the description below. And when I say limited edition, I really mean it. They are selling out fast, and you've got to act now because once they're gone, they're gone. Inside this gorgeous PS1 shaped box that talks to you when you open it. Wow, look in here. Hello, I'm Scott. You'll find the Blu-ray disc itself with over 5 hours of Cat Icarus content not available anywhere else on the internet, such as a Cat Icarus episode all about the Rock Reunion podcast and so much more. I've always wanted to have one thumb and no fingers. The menus of the Blu-ray have all been specially designed to look and sound as ugly as possible. I mean, look and sound like a 90s PS1 demo disc. And the case for the Blu-ray even features a huge PS1 manual-styled booklet written by Caddy, featuring interviews from important people behind the scenes of the show, countless references and Easter eggs, and even a cheat code you can input on the main menu of the Blu-ray for an additional surprise. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Find out yourself. Buy it. And whenever I'm taking a ride on my favorite hurricane and praying it doesn't stop over the sea, I like to mention the other things in this box set, such as the exclusive sticker sheet, a double-sided movie poster, 3 exclusive pins for your bag or your face, just make sure you clean the wounds, an extra large sticker to show off what a huge sellout you are. It's the closest you'll ever get to touching the real spots. Get used to it. A chance to grab one of 3 Crash Bandicoot relic tickets for a variety of different awards like signed Caddy U2's figures, face-to-face Zoom calls, and $10 to $100 of Pixel Empire gift cards. And to top it all off, a hand-signed card with a scratch and sniff of Caddy's beard. That is not a joke. Do I look like I'm joking to you? I shouldn't need to explain to you why this is so cool, but I just did. And please buy it because this PS1 animation wasn't cheap. Wow, wasn't that an interruption? Here's the rest of the video. Bob, come in. Bob, are you there? Bob! Oh boy, everyone, it's Simon 3. Yay, a donut. The final in the original classic trilogy made by Insomniac Games, and what a fitting developer, because as a kid, Spyro 3 made me into an Insomniac. I adore Spyro 3 with every nerve ending, and every time I pop it in, it makes me want to... With the sound of...
Yep.
6-year-old me played this game until he ate his own hands off. True story. It's the best game of the original trilogy to me, without a doubt. I know people think it's the second one, but this game has a kangaroo doggy paddling in a lake. You're wrong. Is it because of nostalgia? Yes.
Did you guys see that?
Oh, sweet. You can pick your
Will
save
floated in the air for a few
highlight.
seconds and then face planted while I was still holding onto the ball. I forgot that's how physics work. Yeah, just like real life.
Even though I love Spyro 2's characters, I was never really fussed about Ripto or whatever his beef
What?
was. I didn't
Getting some warm up in.
Yep. Trying to see if I can remember why I stopped playing this game. I'm remembering why I stopped playing this game. The one thing that confuses me so far is the fact that somehow this team, who in the first game that gave up 55 points, still has the best record in their division. Well, the second worst record in their division.
Doris was just on there a minute ago. That was like uh, 1-7 with A-Rod.
find him that funny, that entertaining, or that endearing, which made me not really care about what he was planning to do. But this time, I actually kind of cared about what was going on. You've got this haggard old minger called the Sorceress, who's so hefty you could send her out to the front line, and her apprentice, Bianca, who have decided to steal all of the baby dragon eggs that came from all of the adult male dragons. Very progressive, Spyro 3. And instead of stealing them and taking them back to their secret lair, they decided to just leave the eggs all over the damn place for anyone to find. Good plan, guys. I'm sure this won't rear up and ram into you.
Those eggs belong to us now, and I've hidden them in places you'll never find in 1,000 years.
The first egg is right next to where she was standing, and that means that this game's collectible bread and butter are these dragon eggs this time, used to unlock more of the game. And the eggs are just so giddy over being found that they birth right in front of you, with no mess. With that bone forming the uterus, also have these baby dragons that don't like being caught unawares. Does this mean the dragons have genetics? Now, some
Yeah, nah, you're not gonna stump me on this one. It's easily modern. I mean, he took in a young, broken ninja who was damn near death and then took care of him and gave him a new purpose in life. I mean, he was kind enough to just start the fight with just hands. He didn't have to do this. Especially when he had moves like this, he was giving them a chance. He was nice enough to sit back and watch and see them attempt to stop his move. He even praised Tsuchikage for being able to stop it. Mind you, he waited patiently before he dropped the second one. He was getting jumped and was still being considered into the five Kage. Could have did far worse, but he had them overheated. And he did play fair by giving them each 5 pulls to fight. He even gave them the option of whether or not they wanted to fight them with Susanoo on or not. Then this man was nice enough to be holding back because what adult would go full force against children? I mean, he gave Guy Sensei the seal of approval to say that he's the strongest taijutsu master to ever exist. His goal is to put everyone in an infinite dream where they can live their best lives forever. Giving everyone their dreams, yeah, he's definitely the kindest. Well, this is about that time, man. Tag this. It says who was the kindest person on this list? Yeah, nah, you're not gonna stump me on
somebody
this.
as nasty as this one, Vince, stealing all of these adorable little babies is bad enough and already makes her appear more like a threatening Cruella de Vil, except scaly and large. But as the game goes on, you then discover she wants to kill them all and rip off their wings for a new spell she's working on. It's not even like she wants to eat them to keep herself alive or anything like that. She just wants to kill them so she can try a new magic trick. If that's not evil, I don't know what is. This causes Bianca to change her mind about being evil, takes her hood off, and that makes Hunter go. Taking that all aside, though, I also really appreciate how much more the gameplay and story are integrated together. There's way more cutscenes showing off what a cow the sorceress is, which builds up to her final boss really nicely. Throughout the whole game, Bianca keeps appearing out of nowhere and taunting you. And even with the levels in each world, instead of just going through each of them, helping the people out, and then getting a magical thing to open a door to get closer to the final boss, instead you go to the levels, help the creatures out, and then as thanks, they all work together to build you a new transport method to get to the next area where you can find more hidden dragon eggs. When Hunter gets kidnapped halfway through the game, for a brief amount of time, all of his side missions and all the levels are unavailable. So come on, get on your ass and save him so you can come back and get more dragon eggs. Everything you do in Spyro 3 has a reason, and it just fits into place better, you know? As for the game itself, well, everything that Spyro 2 did to improve on Spyro 1 is here. Everything from the controls to the weird, wonderful character designs that talk to you like they're grazing in a field. Hello, I'm Steak. Did you ever wonder where your milk came from? Yeah, me too. But in my humble opinion, it's just Spyro 2 Plus. It's Spyro 2, but even better. Not by much, they're still both incredible games, but this one beats it out for me just slightly. I mean, yeah, they removed the charming intro and outro level cutscenes, which does mean some of the levels start with, "There are rhinos everywhere, kill them," and end with, "Here, take this egg." But everything else for me was chipped off and polished into the ultimate Simon experience. The camera is panned just a little further back to let you see more of what's around you. None of the temporary power-ups are gated up by enemy defeat.
I held them to a field goal.
Skating while ice skating now. They brought back way more long gliding platforming sections and secrets that Spyro 1 had, alongside more chances to supercharge than Spyro 1 and 2. Every character around you reacts to being set on fire now, which is a lot better than Spyro 2, where they just stand there defiantly. Walk away, bitch. You know, not that I flame the characters that much anyway, because so many of them are too adorable, and I just want to help them out with their problems.
Our sun has gone out.
Well, shit, you're dead. They even added races to the classic Speedway obstacle levels. They're really boring, yeah. Also, Sparks the Dragonfly talks now. I love it. Moneybags came back and he's still a festering wart. Although he doesn't sound like a drunk anymore.
I can let you into the little castle over there in exchange for a few chairs.
And now sounds like this.
Spyro, my, how funny to see you here.
He's more like a naughty, jovial uncle that tries to sell his nieces and nephews the warm, open, sticky sweets from his pocket. You know, bollocks sweets. So yeah, he's back to make your life miserable, and so is the caveman with his skeleton friend who's lost all his bones. And yes, he even does the bone dance again. Although this time he goes on for so long that the regular stage music comes back in the middle of it. It's perfect. You know what? I don't like this cloud either. Even when you complete this terrible, terrible face. Moneybags does a little bit more this time instead of just ripping you off to get through doors. Get this. Now he works for the main villain. In fact, he comes right out the gate the first time you see him and just says the sorceress is begging him to be at the tool. And he's standing guard for a collection of new animal buddies with their own stages that are fully playable. And once you buy them off of him, you can visit older levels that have their locked doors inside to then get in and find even more gameplay scenarios to make you go, wow, there's more gameplay scenarios. People often feel a bit like these are desperate ideas for a creatively spent development team, but I couldn't disagree more. They're desperate ideas from a creatively strong development team. First off is Sheila the Kangaroo, an adorable little puppet that takes the standard gameplay and flips it on its side to be about vertical height exploration more than long-distance gliding. And I find her levels extremely fun whenever you launch into the air and smash downwards. And, according to the Reignited trilogy, she isn't female unless she has pigtails and a badge. Next up is Sergeant Bird. Just like that, with a wave of my wand. You're a secret spy, just like James Bond. He is an MI5 flying penguin agent with rockets on his shoulders, and I find his parts fine. Not the best and not the worst. In open explorative bits with free flying all over the stage, he's a joy, and I appreciate how you can toggle on a below view for aiming drop missiles while still having full control of flight. But in tight spaces, it's like trying to fit an apple in a nostril. Then we have Bentley, a friendly Yeti who for some reason is also a London Cockney.
I genuinely mind no deliverance. I'll have a jacket coat on the rocks, and don't worry, I'm on my own life.
I respond. I don't dislike him whatsoever, but he is my least favourite character to play as, purely because he walks just a little bit too slow for me. I love how he stomps around and smashes everything without any effort and reflects projectiles, but a little bit more speed would have been appreciated. Not to mention, he's so big that he blocks off the screen from the dragon that you just saved. Move that! And lastly, there's Jim Carrey Monkey, who uses a rebounding laser gun, grenade, strafing, and first-person sniper shots to get through his sections. I like these a lot. They're good fun, especially when you find his most powerful weapon, the child beard gun. Plus, in those hidden speedway bonuses,
Child beard gun.
as Hunter, and that makes the better and more fun than Spyro 2 because it does, and you are listening to me. And hey, did you know that the first ever water birth in a video game was in Spyro 3? Yeah, I'm not joking. Here it is. Welcome to Planet Earth, kid. That's what your lungs filling up with water feels like. Alongside all the animal buddies Simon can save for extra gameplay, you can even control Sparks for the first time ever in his own top-down explorative shooting sections, which I really enjoy as well. You can boost, strafe, use limited power-ups all over the place, and when you finish each one, you unlock a new permanent ability for Spyro, like pointing Sparks towards the direction of missing gems, an absolute godsend, or giving yourself one extra hit before losing a life. Sure, there's parts which aren't perfect. Oh, I went boom again, but there's literally nothing I dislike in this game or don't look forward to. Nah, the worst part in any single Spyro game that's ever been released is in Spyro 3. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. Spyro 2 has more low points, but this single low point in 3 topples all of them on its own. The boxing match with Bentley and this filthy rat is utterly unplayable. You're supposed to have 3 attacks and a block, but absolutely none of these moves come out when you need them to. Either the delay is way too much, or Bentley is way too slow. Whatever the case, this stinking piss rag is able to perform every move at twice the speed as you, and somehow manages to combo when you're unable to, and blocks nearly every attack you perform like he's reading your mind. Hit him, goddamn hit him, Bentley, why are you missing him? Don't make me call you by your passport name! I could go on all day about this abominable challenge, especially when you've got one egg for beating it once, but then need to survive for 3 rounds for a second egg and come out the other end with the most health, which, if you aren't deathly lucky, will take you over half an hour, and it's enough to give me a Diane Weist infection. Now ask yourself this: if a video game about a platforming purple dragon came out in the year 2000, what will it add into it to make it immediately much better? That's right, skateboarding. I shit you not, there's Spyro, the magical fantasy medieval dragon, on a skateboard in space. This is the most long jump backwards ass thing I think I've ever seen, but man, I just don't care. It's so much fun, especially the races when you have to keep doing tricks mid-air to build up a speed boost. How can you not love this? Look at him go! That's how I feel about Simon 3 as a whole, actually. It can get pretty stupid, but I just don't care because I'm having too much fun with it. And even if I'm not completely enamored with some of the new stuff, it doesn't matter because most of the game is you and Simon, and the increased charging and gliding segments for his gameplay specifically when compared to Spyro 2 are great enough for me to not mind the more experimental angles. My copy of the game is so overplayed and so loved that some of the eggs won't hatch for ages. Sometimes Boss 1 just gets stuck and won't stop pulling off his stick flip. Hello? What do I do? Help! Sheila, look at this. Can you believe this shit? And Spyro very frequently violates personal space.
Be sure to keep your friend Sparks the Dragonfly help you, Spyro.
And do you mind getting your nose out of my dress? Wow. And it's even better when Sheila is listening to someone and she's all like, this bit always gets a laugh out of me. In the mission where you have to protect the ice skater and you mess it up, the enemies end up playing hockey with her. You can even go to Rome and set fire to the Pope. Okay, you can't do that. But you can skate in the Roman Colosseum, though. That makes up for it, I will admit. There's also these penguins here in frozen altars with these voices that I can't decide if they're horrifying or a massive turn on.
It would be easy to get up to that treasure if you had something to stand on.
Yeah, they're horrifying.
I don't know why, but I feel really cold.
I swear they are this close to starring in a Netflix serial killer biopic. Oh, and the music this time? My Christ, the music this time? The music in this game, it just makes me want it. This is one of my favorite video game soundtracks ever, of all time, period. It's everything that made Spyro 2 music so great, but amped up to 11. It's catchier, more percussive and rhythmic, groovier, more varied in genres, and every time I hear any track from it, I go... I mean, Agent 9's theme alone completely slaps. How many PS1 sounds get that in 7, 8 time signatures? Sorry, everyone. I was just listening to Velcro ASMR. The bosses are pretty good too. There's more of them than in Spyro 2, and they all look and feel completely different from each other. Not to mention, I think they all look pretty threatening as well, which is a plus. This guy used to terrify me as a kid. That face gives me a heart attack. I hate it. One tries to knock you back into lava and then sneezes fire at you. One tries to shoot you with ammo that you can steal from him and use back at him. One flies around the arena, showering you with attacks and other enemies to chase you, and is only vulnerable while moving instead of being stationary. And the sorceress herself is like a mix of all of them together, but now with the added bonus of using temporary vehicles to follow her up. And that's more more or less how this all ends. After you've done your best, sitting there for 3 hours watching the professor do this. Playing up with Hunter's bullshit.
Did you bring any chips?
Saving all the dragons like Mingus. Mingus? What kind of name is that? Actually, fair enough. He looks like a Mingus. Bianca becomes a good guy. We beat the sorceress by shooting her in the goddamn head. Then Hunter and Bianca become a couple. Guys, get up. I don't want to see this shit. This is a kid's game. There's not supposed to be any lewd in it. Isn't that right, Chris? Oh my God. Okay, ignore him. Isn't that right, Jimmy D. Hooper? What? Okay, ignore him. Isn't that right? I hate everything. Okay, if I'm not careful, my channel's going to be suspended. Help me out, Tom Scarborough. Oh, God, no. But just like any Simon game, we aren't done yet. After we grab every single gem and dragon egg in the game, we unlock one final endgame stage. Into Nasty's loot, into Dragon Short, and now our next stop is Super Bonus Round. That's an awful name, but you know what it does mean? Yes, everybody, it's time for a surprise. I was about to say a surprise Mexican bounce round. In all fairness, though, I think this is the best reward of all the games. It calls back to Nasty's loot in terms of it being another actual level, but now there's way more treasure to steal, way more ways of interacting with the stage, way more interesting things to see, places to explore. It's a great unlockable final level, and then this follows on to the true final boss, the Sorceress, again.
You know this ticket, Spyro. But the sorceress must have survived that last battle.
What? Wait, how did you get another cameo? Yeah, I don't know either. It's almost like they ran out of ideas. And the worst thing is that she doesn't even come back stronger or angrier. She came back on her mobility scooter. This is honestly not a very good hit boss. But you know, it's not Spyro 1, so I don't know. Goodbye, Grandpa. That's for the super secret 100% hidden ending. It is just that. And that's why this is the best fucking game ever. I'm not kidding either. I treasure Spyro 3. It has an adorable wolf puppy you can play fetch with. It has freaks. It has a bit where you play Doom. It has a Matrix reference. I mean, who was doing a Matrix reference in the year 2000? That's cowboy dinosaurs. I mean, do you have any cowboy dinosaurs? If you do, can I come over and see them? It has the ultimate revenge fantasy that surpasses Kill Bill by letting you chase down moneybags at the end of the game and burn his completely flame-resistant pants in order to steal all of your gems back from him. And in conclusion, it has the best sound effect of all time. So I think it's safe to say Spyro 3 really is the Year of the Dragon. Well, what a perfect little trilogy for the PlayStation. I'm sure glad it stopped there and they didn't try anything else. Hello, Caddy. Oh, save my back. It's my evil twin brother, Batty. I bought something for you. Oh, for me. You should have. I deserve it. You know, I'm starting to think that Batty isn't actually all that bad. I mean, after all, who goes out of their way to gift you a jigsaw puzzle? I wonder what's on it. It's me, and that means they made another Spyro game. Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly. No thanks. So after Insomniac Games left the franchise behind for Ratchet & Clank, we've now got Check6 and Equinox teaming up to push this one out on the GameCube and PS2. As for the Xbox, and after they made Enter the Dragonfly, the reviews were so great they closed down forever. Before anything else, I want to direct you to the demo screen of this game after you leave the start menu running a while, and you are going to watch it with me in its entirety. Oh, these are nice flowers. Who am I going to pick for this save game then? So the game begins and we get our first cutscene. Yeah, this looks good. Nothing to see here. It all looks top form. This is exactly like an interactive electronic video game. Also, this cutscene cags. It goes on forever and it really has no right to. Do you want me to paraphrase exactly what happens in this entire cutscene? Wow, isn't everything great? Hello, my cheese. Oh no, it's Ripto. What are you doing here? That's a good question. Yeah, it is a good question. What are we doing here? What do you mean, what are we doing here? If you ask me one more question, I'm going to skin you. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, that's a good question. I'm here because I... Yeah, that is more or less exactly how this cutscene plays out. It's just a massive, one-sided conversation with Ripto and absolutely nobody else, while they all just stand there and let him steal all of these baby dragonflies. You all deserve to lose everything you care about and watch all that you love turn to dust. After that, we all get an uncomfortable look into the youngest flesh mouth, and then off we go to save the dragonflies. Or else the other dragons won't be able to use them as human shield. And they have all sorts of cute names, like Bonkies.
It's fluffy. That's weird, because dragonflies aren't fluffy. Santa. It's
Oh, my spoiled custard. Is this how the game runs? Is the whole game going to run like this? Well, then someone had better catch it then. Come on, Simon, exit my dartboard. Why are you like this? Are you dying? Oh no, there's an ice gate that can only be opened by ice breath. Yeah, alright, so here's the thing. Collecting the dragonflies is the main mission in this game, but it is much easier to do than you think, because, yeah, the game is broken now. It's not just broken, it's been shattered into 1,000 pieces. Infamously, you can even finish the entire game in less than 10 minutes by swimming through a hole in a net, flying over to the center of the homeworld, and then pissing straight into the final boss portal. Oh. Now, many years ago, I made a dedicated video about Enter the Dragonfly, and I was a puss. I didn't actually bother playing the game. I just broke it, finished it in 10 minutes, and then shoved out a lazy joke video to cover my electric bill. But this time, no such excuses. I played it legit from start to end. So now I can confidently say, without a doubt, the game is still chat. And I'm not the only one that thinks that, right, Lady Emily?
Pyro, and I enjoyed Enter the Dragonfly.
I mean, ostensibly, the game is the same as Spyro 1, 2, and 3, but instead of refining or going forward, it takes things away. Simon 1 had 6 homeworlds, Simon 2 had 3, Simon 3 had 4, and this game has 1. One homeworld, and not only that, it also has 8 levels. 8 levels in total. Simon 3 had 21 Simons, and Dartboard only has 8. Sure, they are much bigger than previously, and they do things like putting speedway courses inside those levels to beef up a single level instead of splitting them up. But it also means that there isn't as much visual variety, way too many flat and gaping chasms of spaces where a level should be, barely any gliding challenges aside from like 3 levels, and despite you having new power-ups to unlock in the forms of different elemental breaths, which is an idea I do love, there is only one single instance of returning to an older level to find something new with an unlocked breath, and all it involves you doing is grabbing kites by standing on children's heads. This also means the music is pretty limited in comparison to the PS1 games too, and I'm not sure why, but despite it being the same composer, it sounds like it's falling asleep most of the time. I don't think the music's bad necessarily, it's just too atmospheric and rich for its own good, especially for a game that looks like this. Can't deny though, Cloud9 is a tune. Not to mention the game is insultingly easy. I breezed through most of it without even thinking about it. Check out this mission from the halfway point of the game. And of course, I'm sure you've all noticed by now, the lag. Now, I can handle a bit of lag, that's not a problem, but what I can't handle is when the lag starts making things run in slow motion. No, don't worry. Your video is not buffering or dropping frames, and you don't have cataracts. This is how the game looks all of the time. It never stops. I almost want to get a cheerleading squad in there to encourage it to run properly, and on many occasions it gets so close, but just can't quite get there. Come on, Simon. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Oh. In some of the speedway missions and tank battles, it goes beyond PowerPoint presentation slides. It's like looking at a newspaper. It's a necessary evil, though, team, because we need to include the fog. And class physics. If there was ever a game I wanted to dive under the hood of and see what the hell is going on with it, it would be Enter the Dragonfly. So I got my mid-boundary break to look into the inner workings of the game, and this is what I found. Wow, how did the developers leave that in? Even if the game didn't run like a crusty pair of jeans, the whole thing still feels like it's underwater. Movement is so slow and extremely floaty. The gems take 3 years to hit the ground after you break them out of baskets, and oh man, oh geez, are you a go? I don't mind the general graphics and the level aesthetics. Sometimes it can be quite nice, but what is it with these mouth animations? Is your face trying to run away from itself? You can't just take the low poly PS1 toasty make the mouths and then smooth them out for the PS2. It was charming back in 1999, but in 2002 it all looks like a pair of old stocks. On top of all of that, as you can quite clearly see earlier, the game isn't finished. Spiral. And I'm not talking about the gameplay removals either. Technically, it's a disaster as well. Have you ever played a game where there's a loading screen? To load a loading screen, Spyro has no drop shadow, making gliding a total pain in the sneak. Enemies don't attack you. Spyro gives up walking and just floats everywhere. The progression atlas disappears and turns black. Spyro gets stuck in ladders. Charging decides to stop working entirely. Sound effects disappear at random. The wind deflect move you unlock, aside from only being needed for one single part of the game, doesn't even make its target when you do need it. Spyro loves to do these random falling animations after charge jumps and completely stop you in your tracks mid-air. The milk breath you get from space candy has no range.
What?
The camera controls often stop working entirely whenever you move. The camera forgets candy has no range. Charge jumps completely stop you in your tracks mid-air. The milk breath you get from space candy has no range.
What?
The camera controls often stop working entirely whenever you move. The camera forgets that it's supposed to be looking at you all the time. Sparks just refuses to eat butterflies when he desperately needs them for extra hit points. The Spitfire machine gun needs to be tapped over and over again to fire instead of just held down. Your flame breath sometimes doesn't attack at all. The characters are always turning into statues, especially during dialogue. Uh-oh, he stopped. Can someone put a pound in it? Then there's my favourite one. Whenever you're in the tank, you're able to twist the turret with the shoulder buttons whenever you're stationary. But then when you start moving, you're allowed to twist the turret left, but then twisting it right stops working only when you're moving. This game is incredible. And take taking the coding issues out of the way and the gameplay being stripped back from the PS1 days, the game's also unfinished in other weird ways, like with good old Rage Against the Machine bags, who only appears one single time in the entire game on level 1 and never comes back, which is probably for the best because I don't like your cultural appropriation. And there's this bit where you talk to a monkey, finish a sliding mission, get a dragonfly, and then the game makers forgot to make the monkey offer you an extra dragonfly for doing the mission again on hard mode. So Sparks just turns around to you and says, oh, wait a second, there's another dragonfly mission here, but the monkey forgot to tell you about it, so do you want to do the slide again? Oh, and speaking of Sparks, most of the time he has the same voice in Spyro 3 that I love dearly. Except for one single instance when Spyro insults him and he outright just says the word hi. You can look up reviews of this game when it first came out on the internet, but honestly, I don't think it's possible to review this game. They're all just encyclopedias of everything wrong with it. Hey, it's Shadow. So when all is said and done and you can't stomach it any longer, you end up at the final boss, Ripto. Oh, no, wait, I meant the only boss, Ripto. What is this game's daddy issue? And the boss itself is... well, it's on brand, I'll give it that. Also worth mentioning that if you start this fight off, you have ripped your save file and can never leave the fight until you beat the game. So if you're going for 100%, do not go into the boss portal, you'll never come back. The fight itself is pretty, but the best thing about it is that after you beat him, you get this cutscene. Yes, Enter the Dragonfly genuinely feels like a load of people got together in a meeting. One person came in and said, hey guys, I've got 8 new Spyro level ideas, and the rest of the team said, thank you.
I'll pick this guy up as a 6th rounder, maybe 5th.
The game is so bad, I don't even think any children's TV presenters on CBBC would take a paycheck to advertise it to kids, would they, Chris Johnson? Oh, hell no. CBBC's been showing the same episode of Tracy Negro over
Oh.
So that's why you don't present CBBC anymore. The only major drops of praise I can give this game are that it gives you the ability to walk to any level right from the force menu once you've already visited it. The sliding missions are admittedly a lot more fun than Spyro 3, and above all, at least it isn't racist. By the way, guys, you can keep your trouble with the trolley shit. The one phrase I had to hear at least 6 goddamn times over was, this dog fight is a dog. The enemy planes can drain your health in seconds. There's no aiming principle, and the battleships take at least 1,000 missiles to take down. And after every 30 seconds of each failed attempt, I got thrown back to the goddamn The only way I could win this mission is by giving the battleships a good old ram over and over again while spamming the ever-loving hell out of the missile button. Because that's fun, isn't it? Actually, yes it is, especially if it means avoiding the singular puffin palace. Luke, that wasn't even close. You're an embarrassment. The most annoying thing about Exit My Dartboard is that the base is definitely there. I can see a started game. I can see a natural extension from PS1 Spyro to PS2 Spyro. It's extremely close to being a competent, simple, yet effective bit of comfort food, like a peanut butter sandwich, except it's a peanut butter sandwich that has the bread, but replace the peanut butter with more bread. That's what this is. Spyro 4 is a bread sandwich. Oh, and who in Satan's pantry signed off on this credits image? I mean, I like it. It's funny. Wait a second. Is your name Two-Eyed Willy? The thing is, though, I didn't just decide to play every level and beat the game. I decided to beat it all. I completed this game 100%. I got everything. I did everything. Just for the chance of having an extra cool hidden bonus ending thing, just like in all the other 3 Spyro games. What did I get here? I got a secret ending cutscene. And what was it? Well, everything is finally back to normal. Isn't it, Spyro? Spyro Enter the Dragonfly makes me want to piss the bed. That was a huge waste of living. I wish I didn't have to sit on a sofa and commit to playing a bad game on a giant TV, you know? Why can't I just play classic Spyro whenever I want, wherever I want? Now, son, turn that frown upside down because Spyro the Dragon went portable. Part 2. You're a bit small, aren't you? Yes, everyone. Even though the start of the PS2 was a bit of an old egg for the Dragon, Simon seemed to flourish on the Game Boy Advance for multiple games before the next mainline console title. Starting off with Simon, silly old ink. Look at it. It's Spyro, all right. He's running, he's jumping, he's flaming, he's charging, he's gliding, he's even hovering. It's just like classic Spyro, but now you can't see it. This is Season of Ice, with Digital Eclipse being the ones who made it. And before they even started making the game, they had to leap over one major obstacle. It doesn't fit. So if they were going to make a Simon game fit into a GBA, sacrifices must be made. As you can see, it is pretty close to PS1 Simon, but with a shitload of cubes. So if you like cubes, you're going to love this. With it being a Game Boy Advance game, you can't see much of the screen around you. There's tons of moments you'll get hit off screen and die instantly. It's difficult to tell sometimes what height things are for longer glides, but all things considered, they did a great job here. Is what I would be saying, but the problem is I don't really like Season of Ice. And no, it's not just because they brought Moneybags back. He doesn't even carry bags of cash anymore. He's on Visa. The controls are pretty tight. You can do most of the moves you're accustomed to. You collect gems and find hidden items. You save a main collectible to keep unlocking the rest of the game, this time being fairies. Getting extra lives is as simple as burning small animals, and it only takes 3, 7, or 40 of them. Even Sparks has his own levels again that feel right at home on the GBA. The core is here, but everything around it is all mushy and smelly. The charge is way too quick for the screen size, and if you ever use it for more than a few seconds, there's a 95% chance of getting through some skin. And yes, you can use the left trigger to look around you, but that's only when you're standing dead still. So whenever you move into another part of the game, you will not see what's coming up unless you keep stopping, looking, and then moving a few steps forward. Oh, leave me alone, you rag! And in the cruelest twist of fate, if you die, you lose all of your progress in the level except for the gems and enemy defeats. There's no checkpoints at all, and with levels like these where everything looks the damn same, trying to re-find treasure chest keys that then stick into a treasure chest you have no clue where it was before, or re-finding all of the optional items to burn around the level for an extra fairy is utterly miserable. Made even worse when you were killed unfairly by an off-screen attack, or whenever Spyro gets hit in general and decides to slide backwards for like 5 hours until he falls right into his tomb. Oh, and even if you don't manage to die and complete objectives that involve exploring these copy-paste box factories, you get forcibly teleported to the middle of Dickville nowhere and then need to figure out how to get back to where you were before. I don't know what square I was at before. The game has no map to tell me. I can't do this all on my own. I'm not Biden, but at the absolute very least, you can do this. I'm sure there's a million other things I forgot to mention about this game. Have you got anything, Faf?
25 just did a
I
backflip.
forgot to mention that. And while I'm whining about a 21-year-old game that nobody cares about, the bosses suck too. This is Grendor, the main villain. He appears twice. You fight him twice. He has a head. Twice. Who is he? What's his breakage? Why should I care? Why does Grendor sound like a cough syrup? I don't know, but I can give him credit for giving us a break from all of the cubes in the game by throwing balls at us instead. There's also these speedway levels in the game that are visually impressive and try to stay as faithful to the PS1 speedways as possible. And I don't mind these, but they share the same problem with the rest of the game, being that they're all the same. Our visuals are the same, the challenges are the same, the level designs are the same, the bosses are the same. This is Spyro, same sort of same. And then, for the cherry on top of this cake of potato and weed, you can only unlock the second boss, that is, the final boss, by beating the game 100%. Thanks for the reward of letting me finish the game by having to treat it like Elon Musk's hairline and comb it back to front. And the ending of the game, no joke, is Grendor having his two-headed problem fixed, followed by, okay, I'm sorry. Bye. And then the final insult to close it all off is that you unlock a bonus Sparks game, which is just asteroids, but with this face. Merry Christmas. You know what? I'm shocked. As a kid, I used to love this game. But now I just agree with his bullies. I don't want to play with this thing anymore. No, wait, don't get rid of it yet. Oh, hello. Look, everybody. It's Wallace Big. What are you doing here? I have a good game for you on the Game Boy. Don't give up on it now. Why are you shouting? You're already massive. Here, take this. It is usually much smaller, but in my big hand it is much bigger because I am so big. Wow. Thank you so much, Wallace Big. He's big, isn't he? So first off, we have Simon, silly old ink, and now we have Simon too, silly old fish. Gotta say, right now, I love this box art. It's incredible. Gone are the days of creative collages of characters and colourful new worlds. No, we're just gonna have face. And before I get into the nitty-gritty, I can definitely say out the gate that not only is Spyro 2 GBA so much better than the first one, but it's also actually probably one of my favourite GBA games of all time. No, I'm not kidding you. This is an unironically great game. And it's the first time for a few games now that I can finally say makes me go, the idea is the same as the first, and from the initial glance, it looks exactly the same. But trust me, it's far from it. I mean, look, it has slopes. First off, the controls are way better. You've got more mid-air control while jumping. You move slightly slower while running and charging, but that just makes it way easier to charge everywhere without running off the stage. The camera moves automatically towards the direction you move, giving you more chance to see what's coming. They brought the changing elemental breaths back from Enter the Dragonfly for different styles of attack and puzzle solving. And yeah, there's puzzles now. It's not just a run around and pick everything up spiel. You have side missions with different things to do, more secrets to explore, money bags. There's no more repetitive speedway shooting sections, and instead these Sheila and Agent 9 levels that offer totally different and fun gameplay styles, like side-scrolling rush gun missions, which I really get a kick out of, or isometric, slower-paced puzzle platforming, and Sheila's dialogue face looks like this. There's power-up gates now for extra powerful breath attacks for further puzzles, or even new ways of exploring the better-designed levels. And if you get lost, oh my god, there's a shows you where you are, blacks out the areas you haven't explored yet, and even shows you where level doorways are on the hub world. Sliding backwards when getting hit has been totally removed, which is great enough on its own, but even if you do die, it doesn't matter, because all of your collection progress during the level is saved, except for the treasure chest key. Why? You don't go back to the beginning of the level because there are checkpoints throughout now. And the music, oh, the music is so... Along with doing new and different things in each stage, whenever you
Guess I got this guy.
mission,
Yeah,
you also
let's
don't
see.
get randomly picked up and spat out on a bit of dirt 3 miles away from where you just were. And you even collect fireflies in this game, which is class. It's way better than collecting lame-ass fairies. I don't want to collect them. What do I look like? A wuss? They always get in your hair. Oh, so itchy. Hurts my fur. Hurts my fur. There aren't only more bosses to fight, but there are also Crush, Gulp, and Ripto from Spyro 2. Not my favourites, but still more familiar and better executed than whatever this thing is that can service two at once. What else I noticed? Sparks keeps wanting to say ass, and the game never lets him. He's always just about to say it, but then the game chickens out like it's E for everyone or something. This will not do, Nintendo. Sparks needs his ass. Hashtag let Sparks say ass. Literally everything wrong with Season of Ice is fixed here, and I couldn't be happier about that. Even the little things like each playable character flying back to the hub world is great. It's a flying ape. And character dialogue having these odd noises is great. It sounds like when I'm trying to fit on a tight boot. I also love to stand on moving platforms and hold the button down. Bye-bye, Simon. The only part I really don't like is this one mission
Marquise
here,
Brown?
use electric breath to protect a mouse loading a rocket ship, mainly because for some baffling reason, the lightning breath just doesn't work. Only in this part of the game too. But who cares? I can't be angry at the first video game ever to have a level made out of running green cheese. You don't have to 100% the whole game to finish it either, and if you do choose to 100% it, you unlock a bonus game from the main menu called Spark Panic, which I thought he was doing in the other game. Now it's basically the exact same Spark shooting you already know by this point, but it's wave-based now, and then you can even play Dragon Giraffes, although if you're playing with me, you don't play drafts, you lose it. Oh, I know that sound. Oh, you know, that's the great thing about cats, isn't it? It doesn't matter wherever I go or whatever I do, he's always there. And that's what I love about him, is that he's never able to leave me alone. And you know what? That's fine with me. That's my lot in life. Crash and I, we're both linked to the hip. There's nothing that anybody can do about that. And wherever I go, whatever I do, he's always going to be there. And you know the small price to pay for such a great game? Every so often, you get a tiny tad of slowdown. But honestly, that really doesn't bother me. I like to look at Spyro 2 GBA like a fickle old man. Yeah, he may slow down occasionally. He's got more wisdom to make up for it. And he hates foreigners. Well, Wallace Big, you weren't lying. This game actually turned out pretty great. So thanks so much for the wreck. Well, you know. No, I don't. Bye, goodbye, goodbye. No, great bye. Have a great bye. You're big. I know, yes, it has its downsides. Or should I say downsides? So who wants to throw me the next game? Thank God, it's only taken 7 games and Spyro is finally going on an adventure. This is Spyro Adventure, also known as Attack of the Rhinox in the US, or as I like to call it, Simon. Awesome, I have Rubella. Ooh, what's this? A mini game from the start? Bird rescue? Let's see what this is about. This is the third game in the GBA series made by Digital Eclipse, and this one in particular eclipses the rest. Indy Mouse, please like my Spyro joke.
Hey, what did I tell you about calling me about this stupid dragon game?
You're right, it was funny. That's because this game tries something a little bit different. It's the standard GBA sign up fair, but now on for Now I really like this idea. In fact, no, I don't like it. I love it. There's individual large quests scattered around every level of the giant single hub, and lots of backtracking and acquiring new power-ups to explore previously inaccessible areas to find more quest items that are needed in earlier stages. And this is all a great direction for the Portal series, except okay, so with the game being open now, the individual side levels are much smaller than the other games to compensate navigation. But even with a map, that doesn't mean much when trying to find characters for quest items is a total pain when all the NPCs look the damn same. I don't remember who these people are or where the hell to find them. Is this guy over here Steve? How about you? Are you Steve? And this guy, are you Steve or are you Air Force Joe? This game takes the worst of ice and the best of flame and mixes them together to create a load of wet. You'll find all of these multicolored chests all over the game that require keys that you need to find two halves of each scattered around the rest of the game. Once you assemble the key, you can then go back and unlock all of these chests of the same color across every level in the game. And there's no indication what levels they're in or whereabouts they are. Some are in side rooms, some are hidden on high platforms, and some are just laying around like dead cats. And I would just go ahead and not worry about them if they were all full of optional gems for the sake of 100% completion. But I can't ignore them because some chests have gems and some have extremely valuable items to further progress the game. Meaning that whether you like it or not, you have to go back through the whole game every single time you assemble a new key and find all of the chests in every level just in case you missed one with a quest item in it. And if the chest is hiding in one of the side rooms, you'd better pray it's not one of the ones that need two buttons being pressed at totally opposite points of the level under a time limit every single time you need to get into that side room. No, it doesn't stay open. You have to do this every single time. And then the chances are you get in there and you haven't got the right coloured key yet. But unless you write it down, how are you going to know? I'm a kid playing this on a Game Boy Advance in the back of my car trying not to throw up. I'm not going to do any note-taking. I'm not a policeman. It's pretty cool that
When you find a deal on your favorite thing in the McDonald's app and order it, does that technically count as online shopping? Save money with the app.
at participating McDonald's, prices may vary. Well, that Agent 9 came back, good for him. But he ended up trading his laser pistol for a Dyson, which is because instead of the fun and tricky run-and-gun segments from Season of Flame, these are slow and awkward stealth segments where if you get spotted one single time, you have to start over at the previous checkpoint. This whole system just slows everything down. And if you want to talk about slow, take a look at Sergeant Byrd making his first playable debut on the G-Back. Well, what in the shit is this? I didn't realise Spyro's new animal friend was polio. These sections suck. I'm sorry. All you do is hit the A button over and over again to ascend, shoot machines trying to attack you, and save soldiers that are dotted all over the place. You can either save one at a time and keep going back and forth, which takes absolutely forever, or collect multiple ones all at once at the cost of being slower, heavier, and meaning you have to ram the fly button even faster, like you're angrily showing your crewmates where the hidden goal is. It sounds the same, looks the same, and mostly feels the same. But Spyro Adventure for me is just way too lofty and open-ended for its own good without giving you the necessary tools to make it feel as fun to play as Season of Play. Well, actually, I say that it sounds the same, but I take that back because the music this time is... On top of that, you fall through the floor more times than I think should legally be allowed. Agent 9's grappling hook does not work properly. Moneybags is now pink, and most of the missions are now just, "Oh, Spyro, look out! A thief has stolen one of the dragon babies, and you've gotta stop him!" Yeah, alright. One of the things we need to save the world is in this safe that you can't get in. I'm in. Also, I think Moneybags now has a kid, which means I can't look at him anymore without knowing that someone wrote him. Well, I don't know about you guys, but after playing all these GBA games, I'm getting sick of looking at squares. Can I please get a game that just has no squares in it for a change? I know, maybe there's one over to my left. I can't believe those things you just said. Oh, look everybody, it's my cousin Squaddy, you chapist. Oh, come on, Squaddy, I've been looking at squares all day. I just want a break from them. Oh yeah, we'll take a break from this. Oh. Thumb? Hey, round boy, my face is up here. Sorry, I just... I just didn't realize you people were so violent. They made one more Spyro GBA game, known everywhere as Spyro Orange, the Cortex Conspiracy. Although it's more commonly known in the UK as Simon Fudge. And not only is this the final standalone Spyro game on the Game Boy that wasn't a port and not made by Digital Eclipse, but it was also a crossover game. And a crossover game with another platforming juggernaut that you all know and love. Is it Sonic? No, Eggman. It's the one, the only, Mickey Mouse. What? Cameo! Oh yeah, after years of suspense and build-up, teasing fans all over the world by Naughty Dog and Insomniac hiding Crash and Spyro demos in each other's PS1 games, the two best-known PlayStation mascots were finally getting together on a system that needed a lamp. And yes, this also means Spyro and Crash's villains team up too, this game having Ripto and Cortex as bad guys. And the story they have here is that Ripto and Cortex team up to stop Crash and Spyro. And look, oh my god, guys, there he is, together off-screen in the same game for the first time ever. We become best friends after a boss battle where Spyro stands still, does absolutely nothing, and murders Crash with Molotov cocktails. What I don't understand, though, is that if it worked in Spyro Orange, then why doesn't it work for me on Tin? What we have here is a Simon side-scroller, which, you know what, I'm not completely against. We've had 3 games of bastard squares, taking all of our jobs. Now we have this. I'm fine with it, and we can run, jump, and yes, we don't charge anymore and we don't glide. Two of the things that made Simon Simon. A controversial move that I will never understand, but not as much as how I don't understand this. This is the replacement glide, everyone. Having a mid-air fin. You know what? I wouldn't mind the lacking inclusion of 2 of Spyro's most defining things if the flame wasn't a useless spin on the floor that never hits any enemies, and if it didn't control as slippery as it does. You don't need to throw soup and Van Dross to protest oil. Just make people play Spyro Orange and they'll never want to see oil again. I am barely just about to make the jumps on tiny platforms here, and most of the time I do it is without jittering on the D-pad to land accurately because of just how oiled up the floor feels all over the game. It's worse than your local kebab shop, and once you mix already slippery controls with slippery ice in the ice well, just burn it, make it water, I'll drink it, I'll spit it out, I'll soak it up, and then I'll eat it. This can't be what the game is, though, and you're right, so what else do? You find portals to mini-games, beat them, and that is it. Spyro Orange is a mini-game collection in disguise, and not a very good one. This is what the game considers a fully fledged mini-game. You want to play Breakout? While the ball is on a tractor. Do you want to play a slow anti-gravity mech game where you collect 1 bullet at a time and fire 1 bullet at a time? Do you want to play an auto-scrolling flying shoot-'em-up stage where nothing happens? Do you want to play an auto-scrolling flying shoot-'em-up stage where nothing happens? Do you want to play an auto-scrolling tank shoot-'em-up stage where... Oh wait, sorry, let me just flip this over. You want to play an auto-scrolling flying shooter. Repetition is this game's mantra, and even for the ones that don't copy each other or repeat, every single minigame here is dreadful. In fact, it can all be perfectly summed up by the first ever portal you jump into. Spyro very slowly jumping over holes and that's it. That's the Spyro Orange experience condensed. And for the love of God, keep to the sides of all of the flying stages because the middle will always trap you into a game over that you can't see coming. Stay away from the center, like a pizza. Nobody wants that bit. And some of these mini games go on for an eternity. But I don't need to tell you this. When me and my sister were kids, I got Crash Purple for Christmas while she got this, and she loved it, didn't you, Rosie? What? See, she's an idiot. I've never played a game before where the game itself feels like it doesn't care. I've never been more acutely aware of a game nearly reaching sentience and telling me itself it is born. Spyro Orange is alive and wants you to end it. Even Moneybags doesn't give a shit here. All he does is ask for money so you can buy trading cards, which do absolutely nothing. And the shopping experience itself... Wow, I love shopping here. Do you have a loyalty card? The only real triumphant moments of the game appear when you win a minigame. And even then, Spyro doesn't even look like he knows what just happened. You did it! Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? You know what theme I've noticed throughout this whole game? Depression. I'm being serious. I think this game is about depression. This new character, Blink the Mole, is always hiding underground, away from the sun. In Cortex's boss fight, he just gives up halfway through and accepts his inevitable death whenever Spyro wins tug-of-war matches against creatures trying to destroy his world and kill his friends. He looks sorry. Sergeant Bird hung himself, and in every cutscene, Spyro never looks happy. Follow me, Crash. Bosses don't even try to hurt you. They're more interested in enjoying themselves or slumping left and right over and over again while all you do is jump over them to win. The only real challenge is with Crush and Gold together, and even then, Gold tries so little to actually hit you that Spyro falls asleep the whole game, from start to end. Took me 46 minutes to finish. And 5 of those minutes were when I paused the game because I had to take a massive crap. So in an effort to add more value to the game, do you know what they did? They locked the final world out until you beat every minigame before it 3 times each. What? Everything again? 3 times each, when most of the minigames are copies of each other anyway. Are you trash? No, I'm not having it. I am not having it. Not having it. Jim Caddick, 28, male. Not having it. Why didn't you tell me about this Lady Pelvic? Oh my god, I'm so sorry for your loss. Let's be real. You'd have to be mental to play the whole game again 2 more times, with tiny little changes in difficulty, just so you could get to the last world. So you get to the final world of the game, and lo and behold, it's exactly the same as all the other worlds, with the same mini-games and the same slippers.
I don't think that guy's having a good day. Just his friend missed following him. You think
Crash Bandicoot Purple, which you didn't have to access in that game by beating every minigame 2 extra times, and finally ending with Spyro looking like my absolute favourite bit, the best bit of the game entirely, is that near the end, there's the hardest platforming sequence in the whole thing, full of long jumps, airborne enemies, leaps of faith, and it takes a while to get through. And once you do get through it, the reward waiting for you at the end is Crash Bandicoot. The hidden secret of the game, not behind the hardest part of it, is one of the many characters. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of the worst games I've ever played. I can't stand it, and I never want to play it again. So long. I'm a real fire dragon. R3. Well, the next games had better be good or I'll turn down an orphanage. Well, hopefully after the disaster of Spyro Orange, we can finally get somewhere with Simon a happy teeth. The Hero's Tale came out in late 2004 for PS2, GameCube, and Xbox, right after Orange. And from now on, we've got no more of the original teams behind the first few games. Different voice actors, developers, composers, and the lot. Maybe for the best, I don't know. He knows. By the way, don't let this cover fool you. Even though it looks like a George R.R. Martin epic, you start the game up and get, some dudes train like fools, dude. I mean, so on Spyro Orange, everything is just as it should be. The game opens with a familiar face, nasty knockers, and then this new ultra-mean baddie appears to try and take over the world with a place of a crumpled sewage pipe. His name is Red. I hope we find out why he's called that. The intro to our goodies begins, and who is Red? That's his form of Red. Red. Sorry if I got that. No. Yeah, we don't know, and we don't care. In this whole game, we never seem to care. We get hit on the head. We fight a thick old fish woman, dead ahead. We lose 80 dragon eggs from a nursery, no need to chase after the thieves, dead ahead. We get told to collect things to power this thing, dead ahead. And the professor doesn't seem to care either. They don't know. You know what? This is just the levity I needed. I really like this. This is actually kind of funny. But hey, you! Who the hell is Red? I actually really like the story here. No one gives a shit from start to end, and it's pretty entertaining. Plus, it allows the game itself to be played more than once, which is good. This Hero's Tale is really good. In fact, no, it's great. Yeah, I said it. These reviews are all wrong. This game is another attempt at Spyro-esque gameplay in a more open world setting. And you know what? It's not the best open world game I've ever played, but for Spyro, I think it pretty much nails it. Not only is the open world idea extremely fluid and well executed, tons of fast travel stations and a great map system to show where you have and haven't been, but the world you travel to has some of the most engaging and creative driving puzzles and tricky enemies to get by in the whole series. The movement controls are really smooth, the charge is really snappy, and I love that it gallops this time. It even feels so good to just run around in circles and see how Simon's body sticks around the
What are you doing?
great attention to animation. There's no stiffness, no floatiness, no charge jumping, and no hovering. Okay, it's not perfect. Or is there no hover? Did someone get me my cyanide? Hey? Derek, you are way too eager to give me that. I only want what's best for you. Oh my god, that is a baffling explosion. The hover has been a staple for years, and even on the Game Boy Advance. Why is it gone now? The lack of hover makes some jumps unnecessarily annoying. What? You thought this stuff from ledges. Good for you, matey. Double. Everything else, though, is terrific. Jets pull out baskets and making the race extremely quickly. As far as picks the ball up quicker than you can struggle to. And even though, yes, the hover is gone. The double jump is a decent enough place. And you know what? I also love the way that you can hold the right button down now and trail the breath attack for a few seconds to cover more area and distance. It's more like a spray than a breath, but it works great. Even better when you consider returning additional elements to breaths. And unlike Exit like Dartboard, each breath provides a brand new way to attack and puzzle solve that all have their own costs and benefits instead of being basically the same attack. I don't think slightly different fire is the same as always. Electric to penetrate armor, but also needs to be held down for longer to kill anything. Ice freezes practically everything, but also means you have to charge into enemies after freezing them. No matter what the breath pushes wood. I hate this breath. You might as well have Spyro spit sand, let's face it. Goobus, I asked you to animate Spyro eating sand, you waste of space. Okay. Who signed off on this character? No, this isn't a glitch. This is a separate character. It's just another one of Spyro covered in salsa. This is peak character design. I love it. Also, the power gates are back for invincibility and supercharging. Always a pleasure to see. This genuinely feels like a natural evolution from PS1 to PS2 for what Spyro games should be to try and do for a new generation. I really dig it, and it has been way too long since Spyro games made me go, the bosses are also actually bosses again. Bosses, you've got nasty one with his first his graph, and he isn't easy, yeah, but it's boss one, and he looks way more of a fight effect Spyro 1 as a final boss. Then there's the Steven, who is honestly completely pathetic. And there's his heroes, these things. Get him! He isn't a threat whatsoever. Even this mammoth here is more of a danger, and the first time you see him, he just hangs. Relax, buddy. Spyro's still alive. I know, because if he weren't, we'd be going back to a previous save. Oh yeah, speaking of good, this is the first game in the series where we can actually control, well, you know, on the ground. Okay, come find it really fun. It's basically more of Spyro's gameplay, but with a quicker move, no glide, and a focus on long-range arrow combat and puzzles. It's like a fast-paced Zelda minigame that allows you to jump and glide much easier, and I welcome the switch up whenever it happens. You see a scale behind me? Wow, looks like you're not gonna fit through there. You know what? All right. I can't fit in there. And that's not all. You also have the new playable character, Blink the Bulb, Professor's nephew. In the good old days of carrying the first letter of your name on your hat, your feet looking like giant suction cups. And for God's sakes, man, put some trousers on. I would admit that these are the best bits of the game for me, but I don't hate them. They're just... the idea is that you run around a series of underground caves, search for dark crystals and blow them up with a limited supply of bombs you can find elsewhere in the tunnels. It controls fine, but all of his segments are visually identical. He is the most acrobatic model I've ever seen.
Get out of my path.
Even one prison is a hidden area above or below you have to backtrack. And then after you get through it once, you have to do it again for another collectible, which is just the exact same minigame in the same level design all over again, but double the crystals to go on and more tunnels to get through after going through the other tunnels you already went through earlier on the first minigame. But like I said, they aren't that bad, just a little tedious, especially once you focus on first-person aiming, clearing out enemies, and realizing that the butt squash move is probably the best move he has for fighting in close combat. Don't bother with the gun, and don't bother with his punches. Then there's Sergeant Bird. Yes, he came back. Sadly, his free-flying exploration is gone, his unblinking eyes are gone, his butt crack is gone, and his walking speed is... Even though I used to loathe these parts of the game as a kid, because I mean, he's not only using Spyro 3, he's not even using his arms to fly. He's not a real penguin. I actually massively enjoy them now because they are this game's version of the classic PS1 speedways, but with the ability to fire locked-on missiles on the targets really far away, while flying another direction to find and hit something else, and drop off at the same time to tackle multiple targets at once and continue that alone. These are pretty great. I don't mind playing them once, and then again, all the targets being reframed. You are all wrong about this, but I'm insecure about my thoughts. I need someone else to agree with me, and luckily, Chantronic does, don't you? Right, then you have started being playable again.
Spyro, you'll never fit in his crack.
These parts are the worst bit of the game. They suck. They're annoying. You can barely see what's coming before you, and the sparks and all the stuff and ass is always taking up the whole screen. His bullets don't really feel like they hit anything reliably, and there are zero invincibility rates, meaning if you get stuck in a collapsing ceiling, you can lose all of your health in a matter of 2 seconds. Oh yeah, you also had to play these twice as well, and the second attempt throws more enemies and less power-ups to help you out than the first attempt. You will enjoy it. Do I want to play again for fun? Are you high? Oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention Mud.
This comes in many things. You can buy parts, a bicycle, a surfboard, a bullet.
I also have this really unlucky where it passed underneath the sand, because that's where I dug down and then I lost my progress. If one has an egg, you have to jump above the screen to grab it. Because otherwise it would have gotten stuck. Oh, and then 5-2, there's another egg. You gotta carry a person up a vine by standing on an enemy else because of a shooting ball. Like I said, there's some pretty annoying things. But it wasn't as hard as I expected. And Earl was that because by the time one novel got one edges, it was like 6 hours. But the day was not over yet. We're already on to Super Mario Bros. 2. This is a remake of Super Mario. It's 100% this, and I believe also his models in my Ultra Force. Oh, of course, it collects all 360 crowns. It's for you to get the trial points this event. It's because it's important here is the you apparently get this super cool cutscene and the coins also ranks more. On the original game, you just get a one-up for getting all the dragon points and many individual stages. So not really worth it. So there's actually a lot of really cool things about this game. For one, you can play as three trials quite a while. It has a higher jolly so I actually quite liked it because it unironically made it a bit less slow. There's also dragon points and most of them is not as well as a bunch of small improvements. The only real downside this game has is that it looks blown out. The reason for that is this game came out with the only Game Boy Advance that existed was the one without the vertical screen. So it makes trying to compensate and make the game right. Besides that, it's the same great. Even though it was super fun, the Spirit Fun has really good invention. I was starting to remember how some events was a bit longer than the first, but the day was getting really late and I was getting tired. So I stopped up with playing also. Despite being 6 days in, I somehow still have the same amount of energy as I did on the first day. Maybe I'm just used to these marathons? I'm not really sure. But the goal was to finish Advance 2 and get as far as I could into Advance 1. Also, I'm surprised Carl cameo. Carl came in to work on some rough cuts for this video, so he popped to the screen to see how it was going. I was surprised how much I was enjoying it today. Finding the dragon coins wasn't too bad either. I was just kind of grabbing them as I was going. Another cool addition is the inventory screen. You can see which levels you've got all the dragon points in and helps go with dragon. The only dragon points that were a pain in the butt were the ones in Battle Fortress. Their placement was pretty ridiculous, requiring you to make super precise jumps to get them. But after beating that, I was finally done and I got the epic cutscene. Whoa, this cutscene's crazy! What? You're gonna pain! It honestly was kind of satisfying to see all the points get rained down in a nice pile. Mario Advance 2 took me 9 hours and 40 minutes. minutes. So it was another beefy game, but the time flew by. After this is the last advance game, Super Mario Advance 4. And no, we're not playing Advance 3 or Yoshi's Island, because no Yoshi game is Yoshi. Not gonna tell me otherwise. But anyway, it's 100% Mario Advance 4. We can beat all 90 levels, which means we can play 7 and the 3 hand stage level 8, as well as get all 3 forfeits. But that's not all. We also can clear all 38 meter levels and collect all 147 ace points in 8 games. As you can imagine, I'm absolutely stoked to play it. It's so damn playable. You may also be wondering why the screen doesn't look like it was fried compared to Mario Advance 2. Well, at the time that this game came out, the Game Boy Advance SP released, so I imagine they didn't have a need to block the picture because of that on screen. I really don't have much to say about this one since it's the third go. But I did finish the game with 179 lives. That's because for whatever reason.
Oh shit, that was a bad first pass from them.
So I just kind of had a bunch extra the rest of the way through. But things get interesting with it. This is like a big game. If you're familiar with how these levels work, well, you would need a
Alright, this came off 1. See how Sprinkler was gonna do. Sprinkler.
Nintendo from Madison is this version of Mario Advance 4 that you love everything without the speed required. This means we can easily play them. And I gotta say, these levels are the best. We start off, there's a small level of main stage. I guess it's not that surprising.
But
There's several stages.
let's go, Douglas!
It's the key for Mario. Every ability to these different game mechanics and power-ups that weren't intended for the Mario list will always be such a cool piece of history. But we were at the end of the day, and I didn't make much progress. So I finished the previous levels tomorrow.
Bing!
But I can't think about that right now. It's time to tackle the rest of the e-reader levels. And there's quite a few of them to knock out still. As I was playing over them, there were two things that were very distinct and stuck out. One, a lot of these levels were really tough. Some of them took me multiple tries to get through, especially since I was going for all the extra points. And two, there were so many mazes. I did not realize how many maze these levels were included. I have beaten these levels in the past for fun, but I wasn't going for the extra points. But now that I am going for them, I'm only just realizing how deep and complex some of these levels can be. Like, just look at this example. There's over 10 freaking doors, and they all lead to specific rooms. On one hand, I think that's really awesome to have challenging levels, but I also wish they weren't so maze-oriented. They kind of remind me of Ghost House levels, which I'm not a fan of. I'm always filled with a sense of dread when it comes to Ghost Houses in Mario games. I get that they're there to break up the pacing a bit, which is fine, but getting lost is never fun. It's a damn good thing that there's maps online for where to go, because I could have easily sunk all day trying to find my way around. But who am I kidding? You fight two Boom Booms at the same time, which somehow leads to them being hard enough that I died, so you get brownie points for that one, Nintendo. Even though some of the levels were confusing, I was having a blast playing through these fully. I mean, look at how crazy this Bowser fight is. The arena is completely different and changes a lot of the strategies that you'd normally use for taking him out. And my god, the level itself was so hard too. It took me several attempts, but after a few hours, I finished up the e-reader stages and was done. Mario Advance 4 took me a total of 9 hours and 26 minutes, so a bit longer than I expected. But the advanced titles were finished, and finally, I can play a 2D Mario that isn't just the 3 original NES games. Starting, of course, with New Super Mario Bros., the first of the new series, and probably my favorite of the bunch. To 100% this, we need to beat all 80 levels, collect all 240 start coins, spend them all, unlock all 5 cannons and 18 secret exits, and also beat all the challenge mode. We won't be going for star coins in challenge mode because it's actually impossible to get them all, plus the difference is so tiny in this mode that it's almost not worth doing to begin with. But on to the game itself. While I knew at this point I was feeling confident in finishing the rest of these games on time, this could potentially turn into a massive slog. All 5 of the NSMP games we'll be playing are remarkably similar. So after the DS version, I may start to feel a bit drained. But that's not how it started. I was having a blast at first. We may not be in widescreen yet or have the most polished controls, but there's so much that's
Oh, you
great about
fumbled!
new Super Maybe it happened today. You want to know what it was? The
I think it might be an
was
ACL.
announced. It was really funny because I thought my chat was trolling for 30 minutes until I checked Twitter and saw Miyamoto himself made a tweet. I'm excited and terrified of what can come from a live-action Zelda film, and that's all I'll say on the matter. But anyway, I just kept chugging along, and as usual, played worse and worse from exhaustion. By the time I got to World 8, I was getting stuck on levels for like 30 minutes for no real reason. One of the castle start points was making me super frustrated, and I actually didn't finish the game today and stopped streaming a bit early. But don't worry, I did play Luigi's Casino minigame for like 5 minutes, but honestly, the reason I stopped early was because I had 2 other obligations. Record a discussion with Arlo and Antu, and play Mario Kart 8's Wave 6 DLC so I can finish up the ranked video for Ultra Crash. Yeah, I'm doing all this on top of the marathon. Thanks for the timing, Nintendo. I was up incredibly late trying to get this extra work done. Later than I think any of the nights during this whole marathon. But I was still feeling pretty good. It was actually kind of a relief to play Mario Kart and record the discussion because it was something
God damn.
I was really starting to feel the repetition playing nothing between Mario Bros.
I'm back. Watch, Douglas. Shit.
I hit the wall today. This was the one day throughout the whole marathon where I was just in a bad mood. I finished up New Super Mario Bros. And started the challenge mode, but it was really settling in. I still had to play 4 of them, and the thought of playing 4 games was so similar was dreadful. But I persisted on and just tried to play the best I could. If you're wondering what the challenge mode is, by the way, the only difference is you can't go back and forth in the level. So it's just like the original Mario Bros. 1, where the camera doesn't scroll backwards. That's literally
Watching this play. Douglas! Ah, damn it. The way Douglas has been this entire time, he's fucking making it sound bad. That looked like I could have.
2. You unlock all these skins for the bottom of your screen. The amount of time this game took to finish was
Okay,
12
let him
hours and
sprinkle.
8 minutes, which is
Sprinkle.
actually about as long as I
damn it, they stopped him.
But it was now time to move on to New Super Mario Bros. To 100% this,
Let's go for it, 40 yards.
77 levels, collect all 231 star coins, spend them all, unlock all 6 cannons, and 50 secret exits. The best thing I can really say about switching to this game is that we're
I could have picked that up a little while.
It'll be a lot easier to find all the star coins and secret exits that we can get. Something I always forget too is that you can play this game with a nunchuck, which is going to be a little more comfortable than holding the wheel sideways. While we have power-ups like the Power Mushroom and Penguin Suit, this is pretty much the same game I played before. The controls are also a little more polished, and it's nice to have a little spin jump, but you got to spin by shaking the controller, so it doesn't work as smoothly as I wish it did, but it's not the end of the world. The main hurdle today was just staying awake. Oh my god, this game is so freaking boring. Especially after playing 2D Mario for 8 months straight. I felt completely trapped in this slow pace of my mind. All the little things were starting to pile up. My missed start point. I had to wait for the flagpole animation to finish, wait for the game to load me back into the hop world, then you click the level again, watch the blank title screen reveal the name, and finally load back into the level.
That's the person. That's the person.
Is unbearably slow. And it feels more enhanced for me just because of how much time I've spent playing 2D Mario. Even look at the notes Carl made when cutting the rough draft for this day. World 3 B-roll level finish. World 5 B-roll, nothing happened now, you're just cruising. Audio starts to get crunchy and he is starting annoying. Yeah, that also started to happen. Look, I'm someone that needs alone time at least a couple times a week to recharge the social part of my brain, but I have had no chances to do that past week. Simple Flips was cracking jokes as usual. Meanwhile, I just wanted some silence for a day or two. In hindsight, I felt bad about my mood because my chat kept asking if I was okay, and yeah, I mean, I was fine. I just didn't want to stream that day. But I also think a lot of the problem was just the game I was playing. I felt like my life was running slow motion and I couldn't get out. If you're still in high school or remember high school, do you remember how painful stressful it was waiting for the last 10 minutes of class to end before going home. You just sit there with your backpack already on your shoulders. You're ready to bolt out of that damn door. You're staring at the massive clock and you're just staring at it, watching the time slowly tick away. Maybe you were even holding your breath over and over again because you're bored seeing how long you can hold your breath. Or, just me. I don't know. But saying all that, I did not get through New Super today. I actually ended up playing a couple levels into World 7, and then I was done. So I'll finish it tomorrow and hopefully be a bit more chipper as well. Even though I wasn't done with New Super League, at least it was very close. Simple Flips ended up finishing New Super League last night, so I had to play a bit of catch-up. I was also feeling a lot better today. I got a decent amount of sleep, and I was at least excited for the other New Super Leagues. New Super League still feels pretty boring, but at least the final boss is awesome. I still think it's one of the best 2D Mario fights. Bowser just destroys all the platforms around you with his body and fireballs. It's great fun. And after that, I just had to finish World 9, which does have a couple of hard levels. I needed to replay 9-4 multiple times, which was honestly painful. That's because this level includes one of the worst star coins of all time. At the end of this very long auto-scroller, I need to freeze this plant to make a platform to get into this red pipe. The only problem is that there's bombs constantly dropping either on me or on the platform I'm standing on, which just so happens to fall to the ground with the extra weight. And then there's the second star coin. It's just like hiding in this corner in the most awkward spot possible, and I somehow got it with a bomb. I don't know how, I just did. So it was incredibly annoying having to replay this level a billion times, but eventually I did get through. 9-7 was also tough and is generally considered the hardest level in the game, but I'd argue that even getting the third star coin is tough. It's hiding behind a bunch of ice blocks, and you kind of have to get lucky with a fire bro, or throw your own fire in just the right spots to get without dying. And then that was it. I was basically done. I just had to spend all the coins on the hit movies, which actually took quite a while. There's like 100 movies to unlock, most of them being completely worthless. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a couple of fun ones to watch, but holy crap, this takes forever. Like, why do the menus have to be so bouncy and laggy? Don't make me bring up the high school clock again. But the weird thing is that I was missing a couple of movies that didn't really make sense to me. Like, how is it even possible? Well, guess what? It turns out I didn't use the canon in World 6, and after doing that, I unlocked the last couple of movies. That's very strange that you have to actually use all the canons, but after that, I was actually done, and this game took 9 hours and 13 minutes. But boy, did it feel, but the next game, of course, is New Super Mario Bros. 2. To 100% this one, I need to beat all 94 levels, collect all 282 star/blue coins, unlock all 4 cannons and 15 secret exits. I also need to play all the hidden rainbow stages, get 1,110 lives, and finally complete all 10 DLC packs. The only thing we won't be doing is getting 1 million coins or maxing out the coin counter, and that's mostly because it's a colossal waste of time and wouldn't be that interesting to do at all. The only rewards you get for that is a gold Mario statue and a gold Maximum Mario statue. Wow, fascinating. Anyway, this game has quite a lot to cover, but I was actually pretty excited for it. Unlike New Super League, I started playing New Super 2 when I was in college. I was working as a pizza delivery driver for a few months, and it built up a good chunk of tip money. It just dropped in price drastically, and I was really eyeing up that 3DS. So I gave in one day and bought a 3DS, Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7, and New Super Mario Bros. 2. I did spend over half of but at the time, the first game I played through was New Super Mario Bros. 2, and I 100% that game in like 2 days. It was one of the rare highlights I had that year, so I'm admittedly a little fond of this title. The only interesting thing about New Super 2 is the focus on coins. The game wants to collect as many as possible, and as dumb as that concept is, I can't help but find it to be a really charming game. The game goes out of its way to be collecting coins easy. You can turn enemies into coins. You'll smash your head into a coin block and run around. Oh, and you can't forget about Gold Mario, which, by the way, is still one of the most powerful power-ups Mario's ever had. But besides that, there's really not much to say about the game itself. I was just playing through it as usual, and wasn't struggling at any point. Even Carl was losing his mind with his notes. Look, this one just says, oh, look, here's another one. 2 Resgor fights. And I died. Wow. Dude, hot tamale! No, what's up with Resgor anyway? I mean, sure, it's neat that he made a cameo, but did he really need to be half the boss fights? And they don't even have his name on the Ferris wheel thing like they do in the original. It looks more bland and uninspired now. There was something else being stirred in this marathon top that I didn't quite expect. Simple was actually pretty far behind now. My theory of getting a lead from these games has actually become reality. I was starting to believe that I had a good shot at beating, but I didn't want to assume that yet. He still has quite a ways to go. After several hours, he took out Bowser yet again, and oh man, look at him! Woo! Slapping those platforms like nobody has before. Oh! And then I plowed through the special worlds. After that, I just needed to grind out a bunch of lives, and I wasn't sure what the best strategy was for doing
Step back.
so I
Well,
did
there.
what made most sense, looked it up on
Yeah.
YouTube. The man, the myth, the legend appeared on my screen. It was Nico BBQ, baby. He had a short that showed me how to get a bunch of lives in this game, so using his strategy, I got 1,000 lives in about 15 minutes. Next was unlocking the rainbow levels. In order to do this, I need to finish a level with double digits that correspond to
the ball.
itself. So to unlock the rainbow stage in World 1, I need to finish with 11 on the timer. And then World 2 is 22, and so on and so forth. The rainbow stages are nothing special. They're just another way to quickly rack up points and keep them. After getting all those, all ends up in
Step back. Slow there.
This is probably
Yes.
the most
Kitchen.
interesting, but also the most disappointing. While it's really neat a bunch of bonus levels were added, they're just kind of fine. They don't have unique themes or anything. Like, they just kind of exist. Now, I did like the Gold Classic Pack since it remixes a bunch of older stages, and there are a
Snap the
handful
ball.
of levels that have cool
Cut.
ideas, but
Kitchen.
these are basically
Oh,
just
what
more
the
levels.
fuck?
The last thing I did today was attempt the Impossible Pack. I had already been playing all day, so I didn't make any progress, but I knew I was in
Can
for
we get
quite the
Sprinkle
punch.
back in there? Like, that kid is pretty good at running when it comes down to this stuff.
Kind of did. For whatever reason, he spent about 5 hours farming coins for no reason. Now ask yourself, why did he waste such a large amount of time in a marathon? Was he giving up? Maybe he was confident he could catch up and secure the win regardless? The world will never know. I was pretty tired today, but also feeling determined. I've never
You can probably win this in.
Impossible Pack, so it was going to be my first time today. These 3 levels that I have to conquer are all insanely difficult and frustrating.
Oh, it's on the
level
sun.
starts off just in some water and you got some fish to enjoy. But after that, you're on this Ferris wheel thing that only moves when you stand on the sides, and you have to avoid bob-ombs that randomly fall in.
Ah, I'm so close.
And the second level has tons of tight wall jumps, while also being forced to avoid fire ants that chase you around the whole time. The third and final level is the hardest of them all. Poison constantly flies through walls, covering these entire force every second. You need to jump off this building.
It doesn't seem like they trust fucking,
what's
what's his name anymore? Snap the ball.
Let's keep in mind that you get no powers. The only forgiveness.
Yeah, they don't trust him anymore. They don't trust fucking...
So you're really left on your own
I
to
don't
battle
know.
these stages. For the first stage, the best and only strategy you can do is steal like a deuce cloud with a bobo. Because if you don't, then a Spiney's gonna eventually hit you. Everything else just comes down to reflexes and understanding how the enemies work. I'm just gonna jam its boost now. Okay. Well, that'll never happen again. As for the second level, I don't really have strategies for this one either. The only thing I can say is you have to find a path that works for you, as there's several to pick from. But eventually... Yes! Oh! Okay. Done! I managed to beat it. The third level is so irritating. You have to land in very specific spots on the note blocks and get the right height in your jump to survive. After more attempts than I'm willing to admit, I finally had the run. I'm just gonna go. Get... Oh my god, it's over! Why didn't I just do that before? And that wraps up New Suit 2. I spent a total of 12 hours and 1 minute on it. But we're not done yet. Now it's time for New Super Mario Bros. U. In order to 100% this one, I need to beat
Snap the ball, step back.
collect all 246 star coins, and unlock all 12 secret exits. I also need to catch Nabbit once in the
Come on,
first
Kendrick.
world
Let's
and
go.
the Boost Rush challenge levels. The only thing that isn't required is getting gold medals in challenge mode, seeing as you don't unlock anything doing so. Since we're finally allowed to pick multiple characters, I let chat pick who to play as, and they all went with Blue Toad. So shout outs to all the Blue Toad fans out there. I got your back. I'll also note that I'm technically playing the Switch version just for convenience sake, but the base game is virtually the same as it is on the Wii U. What's there to even say about this game? No, the twirl move is back. Let's see, yeah, there's that. Well, the acorn suit, that's kind of cool. Yep. Wow, this really is just another new suit game. And to think I was calling the Wii version slow, too. Just look at this cutscene. Okay, cool. Come on. Oh my god, hurry it up. Oh my, yes, I get it. Oh my, get to the point. Oh my god, come on. I see what we're doing. Can the cutscene just end? 4 games into this, and I'm really feeling the drag now. The only interesting thing about getting 100% is catching Nabbit in all the worlds. All you do is find the level he's in and catch him. The point of this is to get an extra star on the save file, and that's literally it. But how is Simple doing? Well, he's still working on the Impossible Pack in New Suit 2, and at this point I'm around World 6. Maybe grinding for all those points was worth it after all. He's probably just powering up right now. Meanwhile, I was finishing up New Mario.
He's probably just powering up right now.
It's all the same song and dance at this point. There's no surprises when it comes to how... Oh, he's probably just powering up right now. I was into World 7, and then I was done. So I'll finish it tomorrow, and hopefully... Here's simply...
Shopping for tires used to really rub me the wrong way. That was before I went to TireRack.com. TireRack's tire decision guide made it easy to find the right tires. Talk about secret sauce. You might ask where you bought them.
Hit money in cash. And around that time, the notes. Look, this one just says, there are a handful of levels that have cool ideas, but these are basically just more levels. The last thing I did today was attempt the Impossible Pack. I had already been playing all day, so I didn't make any progress, but I knew I was in for quite the punch tomorrow. But what has Simple been up to? Did he catch up, perhaps? Well, he kind of did. He's powering up right now. He's still working on the Impossible Pack in New Suit 2, and at this point, I'm around World 6. Maybe grinding for all those points was worth it after all. He's probably just powering up right now. Meanwhile, I was finishing up New Mario U without any troubles. It's all the same song and dance at this point. There's no surprises when it comes to how progression is carried out or how general level design is displayed. Superstar Road was the only part of the game where I had a few struggles here and there. But for the most part, I was just playing along, trying to finish as soon as possible. But I do have to admit that it still took most of the day to finish, because these are incredibly long dealing games. Mario Bros. U ended up taking 9 hours and 13 minutes. I'm kind of surprised I had the energy to finish that while also beating the Impossible Pack earlier today. So after Mario U, I decided to start the next game before tackling Boost Rush on the calendar. And that, of course, is the Super Luigi U. In order to 100% this one, it's the same requirements as before. Beat all 82 levels, collect all 246 star coins, unlock all 12 secret exits, and catch Nabbit once in the first 7 worlds. There is nothing different at all besides level design itself. All the levels here are much shorter and more tightly condensed, which is fantastic, because it means I'll be able to plow through the Luigi slightly faster than Mario, assuming I don't get stuck in any of the levels for too long. But I've been going for at least 12 hours, so I only did a few stages before.
I guess like at least high English rank.
Guys, we're already at Luigi U, and it's day 11. I think we're somehow going to finish this entire marathon before the 2 weeks is over, but... Guys, we're already at Luigi U, and it's day 11. I think we're somehow going to finish this entire marathon before the 2 weeks is over, but again, I don't want to speak too soon. I could still get stuck in Luigi U, as a handful of these stages are kind of tough, and the challenge mode is also massive. But I guess some of which also managed to finish all of the which is pretty nuts. It's different. So a massive double. I think it's I was pumped to be this close to the end of the marathon. It was going over so much better than I anticipated, which made me really happy to be. And man, it was so nice to be playing short levels. And something else I feel like should be mentioned is just how awful some of the secret exits and start placements are. For whatever reason, Mario U and Luigi U are obsessed with hiding the secrets behind platforms. Round pound through blocks you can't see. Walk through this wall. Like, it feels extremely excessive in these two games in particular, and I don't know why. Was it maybe because New Soup 2 and New Soup U were developed and released in the same year and the developers didn't have enough time to create more clever secrets? Possibly, but I can't say for sure. Something that was really funny was that when I was getting food, I let a cutscene play out, and without realizing, it started an airship level, and I actually managed to get a star coin by doing absolutely nothing. Something else I started doing was using my P-Wings. If I died in the level, say 2 or 3 times, I just said and fired up the P-Wing. Is it a bit cheese? It sure is, but as someone that has done nothing but play New Soup for days on end, I am perfectly fine with rating the P-Wing cheese for all it's worth. But I did actually struggle a bit on a level in World 5. This poison is constantly rising, and you have to jump off wigglers to survive. There's a star coin that's trapped behind these blocks, and you can't ground pound through them, so you're forced to throw a Koopa shell at the block. This took me quite a few tries, just because I was really feeling fatigued in general. After that, everything was going okay, but World 8 had a few more tough star coins. The one with a numbered conveyor belt was so stupid. I was probably doing something wrong here, but it took me forever to collect this one. After that, the only level I was worried about was this level is filled with fire. I've actually never played these either, so I had no idea what I was in.
Fake the handoff.
After about 5 minutes, though, I figured out the concept. It's a bunch of random stages that are recycled from the game. They turn them into auto-scrollers. The more coins you get, the faster the auto-scroll goes. At first, I thought this was kind of boring, but once that scrolling gets fast, the game can get pretty intense. I actually had a lot of fun playing through all the levels in this one. It was strangely refreshing. So after like an hour or so, I finished that up and started the last objective, challenge. Challenge mode is by far the best part of this. Is what we have here are a ton of challenges that drastically change how you play for a stage. Some challenges want you to go as fast as possible, some want you to avoid all the coins, kill all the enemies, or avoid touching the ground, etc., etc. There's even one where you're supposed to balance on a rock for a certain amount of time. For like 90% of the challenges, I was beating them on the first or second try. But there's a few of them that had me stumped for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And I love that. It's so weird to actually be challenged in a Mario game. But next thing I do, it was cool. I actually finished New Super Luigi U and all the challenges. I never felt like I was going to escape this series, but it's over and I can actually move on. And if you're wondering, it took 11 hours and 15 minutes. And now to move on to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. To 100% this one, I need to beat all 129 levels, collect all 225 Wonder Seeds, and 306 10 Flower Coins. I also need to touch the top of every flagpole, find all 11 secret exits, collect/buy all 24 badges, and purchase all 144 stadiums. This seems like it's going to be the longest game of the bunch, but I really don't think that's going to be the case. After staring at some of the blandest games of all time, diving into Mario Bros. Wonder for the very end was a surreal experience. Finally, I can play as a goddamn elephant while collecting seeds that mess up the level. And there's wonderful talking flowers. I actually changed the language of the flowers a bunch because why not, right? Well, this is a pretty neat game. I had a couple of ideas to optimize my time playing. Something I ran into playing for the first time was maxing out my purple coins. I actually want to prevent that as much as possible. So what I did was make sure I was constantly spending my coins on wonder seeds and badges when I got the world, but also spent a lot on standing surprise. This is a cheaper way to get standees compared to buying them in the special world, but the big difference is I can get duplicate standees if I'm not careful. But with 144 standees, I started to use standee surprise to save money and time, and actually managed to get around 50 to 60 before I was running into multiple teams in a row. So I believe just doing that is going to save a ton of time. But I made it to World 2 and called it for the night. I have no idea how long today is going to last, but I am determined to play this game until I get 100%, even if it destroys my sleep schedule. Simple Flips finished Luigi U and the challenges last night, so both of us are on the last game. The only difference is Simple streamed for 19 and a half hours finishing. That is much later than he usually streams, so he'd be starting Mario Wonder much later today. So I was about to get a massive lead on him, and potentially beat the entire game before he even starts. But what really mattered at this point was just making progress and keeping my head straight.
There was no way that guy got hit for the ninjas.
It's going to be really nice to have a bit of a break in the spell over, but we're almost at the end. Something that's really nice about this game is that if you die and get a 10 flower coin, it still saves as long as you finish the level. It's a really nice quality of life feature, and no timer is a huge plus as well. The best part of today, though, was talking about Shrek with the chat. There's rumors that Shrek 5 is coming soon, and I'm honestly pretty hyped for it, if I'm going to be honest. So for like 20 minutes, we just talked about which Shrek movie's the best. And look, I've got an official ranking for the series that I'm going to be releasing now to the public from worst to best. Okay, here we go. Shrek the Third, Shrek Forever After, Shrek, and Shrek 2. It's the only correct way to rank these films, and you can't tell me otherwise. But yeah, by the time I got to World 3 and 4, I made my way to the standee shop in the Special World to start spending coins on the individual standees. Even though they cost 30 purple coins compared to 10, not getting duplicates makes it worth it, and I've already collected something. And the way it's all compiled together is so fun. I also somehow survived this bad jump. I wall jumped for like 30 seconds, and then out of nowhere, I was on the ground safe and sound. But now, on the final touch badge marathon. This is the most difficult level of the game, and it tests you on your skill with most of the badges. I really wish more levels of Mario Wonder had this kind of difficulty, or at least a more heavy focus on specific badges.
Yeah! Look at how beautiful that is. That's really sick.
Jumps to these fire bars is super precise, and then just trying to figure out where you are with invisibility is hard too. But it's not even that this section is hard, it's the fact that it's at the very end. If you die, you gotta go back a few sections before trying it again. And if you don't get the gold flagpole at the end, you'll have to play the entire level over to get it if you want 100%. But luckily, I've played this game a lot the past month, so I was pretty accustomed to what was coming. And I think I spent, I don't know,
Kendrick Moore.
But it wasn't nearly as daunting as I expected. After that, I started replaying the Sugar Star trial over and over, and that's because I need purple coins, and I can get 30 for every run-through. But that's when I realized that all the bonus levels get unlocked after beating the game, and doing those meant you way more purple coins. So I quickly played through those, and that alone almost gave me enough standees to finish. Well, back to the Sugar Star trial for a bit. I did that, went back to the standee spot, the last standee, and oh my god, it's over! Holy crap, I actually 100% all the 2D Mario games in less than 2 weeks. I can't believe it was possible. And it only took me 9 hours and 44 minutes.
Hold on, can you get open?
And what a relief it was.
Oh, this one. Just go.
Days, 16 hours and 20
And Von Bell is injured. Let's go.
Challenge be 11 days, 7 hours, and 34 minutes. And Simple Flips didn't take much longer either. He also managed to 100% the entire game in one stream. So both of us finished in under 2 weeks. This was a
You gotta go
crazy,
for it.
exhausting,
You gotta go for
but
it.
also enjoyable grind. And I'm excited to do
What?
this.
What? Huh? Why so many deep ass passes? This is just a fucking short pass area. Like this. This one works. You need like Douglas or Henry, like one of those guys to get open. Like, look, see? Oh, I don't think that's legal.
Fun 99 menu. 5
Okay.
items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
They say, hey, defense, how about we do what we did last time and pick them off?
Over the years,
Force
a
a
ton
fumble.
of people
How the fuck you miss? He was in front of you. What the
have made
fuck?
ranked videos of every Mario game, when in reality, these videos are just ranking the main live Mario titles. Which makes sense, that's fair enough, but I'm in this weird, unique position in which I've already played almost every Mario game in existence. So my ranked video is going to include all the mainline games, Mario Kart, Mario RPGs, Mario Party, and even a few of the spin-off titles. I won't be including the sports games simply because they don't have as much significance as these titles, so with that out of the way, let's get the idea is simple. Recently, I've been learning the banjo. I've already messed it up. Now here's a long list of people I'll never have respect for. Cheaters, drunk drivers, animal abusers, murderers. Yeah, that's right. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not going to censor myself. I think you got to be a real jerk to kill someone. Standing wipers is another one. I don't understand what kind of psychopath would stand up after doing their business to wipe when the toilet seat already spreads your cheeks, giving you the optimal angle of entrance to your butthole. Doesn't make any sense. You're adding extra steps and more of a nuisance. And another thing that I'll never have respect for are pathetic scumbags that abuse the YouTube strike system because their feelings got hurt. And that has been happening quite a bit lately on the platform. It's been an incredible week for little slimy weasels that like to use the YouTube strike system because someone made a video they weren't overly happy about. So I wanted to march on in here and administer some wedgies and shoot spitballs at these fucking dweebs that are doing this disgusting weenie behavior where they're abusing this YouTube system to try and get rid of videos that said not nice things about their content. The first one I want to cover is from this YouTube channel, Ingween. They received a copyright strike from another YouTuber named The Manny Show. I'll go ahead and play a clip from this video that explains it.
That one of my videos had a copyright takedown, which is very new to my channel. The video in question that was taken down is why everyone hates The Manny Show. And the YouTube automated email says, "Hi, and we received a copyright removal request."
I was unfamiliar with The Manny Show before this situation, and I really missed 30 minutes ago when I was still in ignorant bliss about who this was, because this shit is insufferable. It's a massive YouTube channel that just aims to fill the shorts algorithm with brain rot content to try and farm subs off of it. It sucks. It super sucks. Copyright strikes are a huge deal. It's more than just the video getting taken down. It affects the entire channel. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the strike system on this platform. It's the nuclear option. When someone does that, it's a declaration of war, and that's when things get extremely serious. And it's also an unforgivable sin on the internet. If you ever have that little devil on your shoulder that convinces you to file a copyright strike, just know that blemish is going to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life on the cyberspace. People don't forget that. So if you're filing a strike on a channel, you better hope that that channel is publicly beheading puppies or something, because otherwise, everyone's going to hate you for it forever. Strikes, in an ideal world, would be reserved for repeat offender channels that are publishing like borderline criminal content. Anything aside from that, and you could just file a normal copyright claim and block. You don't have to choose to strike the channel. You can just take down the video you think is in violation of your copyright or whatever, and have that be that. But when you go the extra step here and put the cherry on top of the shit cake with a strike, then it becomes a huge deal. But in a situation like this, the Manny Show would still very much be in the wrong, even if they took the lesser of two evils and just removed the video without the strike. Because they have no grounds for removing the video whatsoever. They have no legs to stand on. It's a completely fraudulent claim that blatantly abuses YouTube's system.
The channel that was struck, Ingween, is a commentary channel that will play a clip from a piece of content, let it play for like 10 or 15 seconds or so, and then talk about it, giving their commentary on whatever they're going over, whatever the subject is. Looking at the removal request, we can see that 13 seconds of the video was enough to lead the Manny Show to strike the entire fucking channel here. That's some fucking filthy fish paste right there. 13-second clip was enough to have the Manny Show bring the hammer down with the iron fist on the channel, because Ingween was saying some less than stellar things about the Manny Show, I guess. But you can't strike someone because your feelings were hurt over what he was saying about your content. That's just not how it works. He hasn't violated any rules at all. You are totally fine to play bits and pieces from other content and then talk about it, transform it with your commentary, your jokes, your input, whatever it is. It's not like Ingween took the entire video from the Manny Show and re-uploaded it without adding anything to it, without changing it whatsoever. There was no rules that were broken here, at least not from what I can tell. I also will just never understand this strategy of doing something like this, because as the Manny Show or part of the Manny Show team, you would have to know that Ingween or any commentary channel ever would see this and immediately talk about it, because this is just a big no-no. This is like an unwritten rule on YouTube that you don't strike another YouTuber just because they hurt your feelings. That will always backfire on you in the biggest possible way, and it puts all of the eyes on you as the bad guy, as the villain. You won't get support for that. No matter what Ingween was saying about you, and I can't go watch the video since it's been taken down, but I imagine he was calling him cringe or something. Now you have made things significantly worse for yourself. The video title that got taken down was Why Everyone Hates the Manny Show, and I don't know what the reason behind it was, but I can tell you what it will be now. The reason why everyone hates the Manny Show is because they're very sensitive and file false strikes on other YouTubers' channels. I can now answer that question for why people hate the Manny Show. And that's because of your actions. Not even because of your content, it's because what you've done when someone criticized you. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Speaking of dumb and stupid, we have the actual fucking mascot for those things, Tech Lead here. He is apparently still filing false DMCA claims. I just made a video talking about him. I called it Complete Loser. I went over his last fraudulent strike that he issued on Internet Anarchist. Mudahar posted this on June 29th, so only a couple days ago. This appears to be a screenshot of Tech Lead filing a DMCA takedown request. This is a classic SpongeBob, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man moment. This one is particularly enjoyable, though, because this means that YouTube automatically declined Tech Lead's attempt to falsely strike another channel. This doesn't happen super often with YouTube, but they do have measures in place to prevent offenders like Tech Lead from abusing these systems once they're made aware of it. So what happens, and I've seen it a couple of times, what happens is you take one of these fucking worms like Tech Lead, they file a takedown removal request. YouTube will then start processing it and realize that this is just a bunch of hooey. So YouTube will actually send you an email making you aware that someone tried to target a particular video for a particular reason. In Mudahar's case, that video from a Tech Lead segment. And they tell you that they are not going to take any action because they believe it's fair use, but they want to put it on your radar in case you want to do something with that information. The reason they state is in case you want to delete it just to be safe, to avoid any kind of like legal ramifications if they decide to go above the YouTube strike system. So they just give you that information so that way you can plan your next steps accordingly, whether it's deleting the video or contacting the party directly. So that's why Mudahar has that copy there of the Tech Lead DMCA. It's because YouTube thought it was such a load of barnacles that they didn't even bother fucking with it. They just threw it into the trash pile right away, but sent a copy to Mudahar to basically use as toilet paper if he wants. That is so poetic for Tech Lead. YouTube...
Hello.
Since it seems like my dad has to work today, probably we need on his way to work. So now he's asleep. Okay, so probably around like 9 when he wakes up, I'll take a shower. Okay. Okay, man.
Won't even take him seriously anymore. I'm surprised they haven't taken legal action against him since he has openly on record admitted to abusing their system, which is a legal problem. That is actually him admitting to some very bad activity that YouTube could absolutely slap him for. And I think they probably will. This is leading me to believe that YouTube is now very much aware of Tech Lead and what he's doing, and I really think YouTube might take actual action against him for this garbage. Now, maybe I'm huffing copium like crack here, but it really to me does seem like YouTube might do something. They're declining his DMCAs without even bothering to process them anymore because they must be aware that this is just bogus. Like, it's fake, fraudulent. So maybe they'll do something against Tech Lead. I think they absolutely should. And this has nothing to do with his false DMCA takedown strike crusade that he's going on, but I have to talk about this because it was so pathetic. A few nights ago, actually, by this point, it's probably like 5 or 6 nights ago, maybe even like a week ago. I'm losing track of time. Everything's blending together. But I was streaming Elden Ring. I was playing the DLC, and I saw Tech Lead poke his curious little head up in my chat. And he would cheer on whatever boss I was fighting at the time, like, go get him, demon guy, beat his ass, that kind of thing. You called me a complete loser? Well, look at you. You're dying to this Elden Ring boss, loser. And nobody in the chat even noticed he was there. He's such an insignificant fly that even his attempts to try and stir up shit in the chat didn't work. It just flew under the radar because no one gives a fuck about him. But I saw him, because I'm always paying attention to the chat. It's the most fun about streaming, is interacting with the community. So I saw Tech Lead in there, but I didn't call any attention to him. I just sat there and just looked at what he was saying. And I know he started fuming because I'm actually good at Elden Ring. So he came in during the Mother Finger boss fight, and it only took me like 5 tries or something on that boss. And he came in there at like the third or so try. So he only got to see me take 1, maybe 2 deaths until I beat the boss, and then he just had to sit there and say some other nonsense outside of that because I wasn't struggling on the bosses. And I just found it to be so embarrassing that this grown-ass man would take like 30, 40 minutes, whatever it was, out of his evening, and it was late too, it was like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., something like that, to hopefully watch me struggle on Elden Ring bosses and then not even get the pleasure of seeing that. Now, if he came in later and saw me on the final boss, he would have had quite a spectacle, because that boss is fucking brutal. That took me, like, almost 3 hours to beat. But he came on the bosses that I was able to just fucking slap around and put the smackdown on. And he just had to sit there and just say nonsense, and no one responded to it. And I just see it and kind of, like, smile internally about it. I just had to point that out. I found that to be, like, so embarrassing. I don't know how he went to sleep that night with that level of shame. Going into my chat to try and start shit only to have no response from anybody. Just straight up crickets. So I had to mention that since we were already talking about this loser anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about these 2 cases here because within just a week, we've already seen 2 YouTubers, again, falsely strike or attempt to strike other channels for nonsense reasons. And I think that shit sucks.
Hey, Brandon. Remember that Tech Lead guy who, like, falsely struck some guy's YouTube channel and got a video taken down just because it was talking crap about him? Next better thing to talk about him? Yeah, recently, like, we talked about a guy named, like, the Manny Show? Mini Show or whatever? Because that YouTuber, and he talked about it today, but this YouTuber copyright striked a YouTube channel and got a video taken down. The video was titled, "Why Everyone Hates This Guy." And then he followed that up by then talking about how Technique tried taking down another person's video, and YouTube pretty much snapped him in the face and sent an email to the guy he tried taking the video down of, and told him like this, you might need to take the video down yourself because this guy's trying to take down your video, and there's a chance he might take legal action. But Critical then pointed out that Tech Lead joined his Elden Ring DLC stream to talk shit and cheer on the bosses to have them beat him. And you want to know why that was funny? He did that against like the Finger Mother, or Mother Finger or whatever. And Critical pointed out it took him 4 or 5 attempts to beat it. So Tech Lead only watched him die twice, and then watched him beat the boss, and then spent the rest of the stream talking crap, trying to start shit with everyone there. And you want to know what made that even funnier? No one responded to him. This guy is so insignificant. No one responded. Yeah, they're like, hey, they're cool. Don't bother. How's it going? But the one thing he did point out is if that guy had, if Tech Lead had joined in later on in the stream, he would have then been able to be happy and get his fucking red weight boner off. You wanna know why? Because Critical spent 3 hours on the final boss of the DLC. Yeah, but Brandon, you want to know why it made, like, Jones, you want to know what Critical pointed out on why the main reason he spent that long on that boss was? It has literal attacks where it flashes the entire screen. So imagine you can't even see the attack coming towards you. And then to go with that, apparently in the DLC, there's a lot of bosses and enemies that have attacks that you can't dodge at all. And if you have like a slight bit of health missing, it will kill you instantly. And then other than that, to prepare myself for Madden 25, I'm currently playing Madden. Yeah, but Brandon. You want to know what team I'm using for my Madden playthrough currently? My Madden franchise mode for right now. You want to know what team? The lack of a response is making it seem like you don't want to know. You went silent. That is not saying, oh, I want to know. It's going. But I went with the New England Patriots. You want to know why? A wide receiver on their team, and Kendrick Bourne, is related to me. He's my cousin. Yeah, he's literally my cousin. No, he plays in the NFL. He ain't famous. He ain't. But he plays there. He plays wide receiver for them. Yeah, and Daniel Cormier, you know, a former UFC light heavyweight champion. Ah. But one of the funniest thing is with like me being related to Kendrick Bourne, his dad pointed out to me that he wasn't going to re-sign with the New England Patriots this year. Like he wasn't going to re-sign with them last year. Like he was just gonna play. He's just gonna heal up after the season and then go in free agency and go to a different team. But after Bill Belichick left and the new head coach offered him a big contract, he accepted it. So all it took was the old man who doesn't know how to run the franchise to leave for him to be like, yeah, I'll stay here. And you want to know what the funniest thing is to go with all this stuff about Kendrick Bourne is? The first NFL team he played for before New England was the San Francisco 49ers. So he played for my team from 2018 to 2020, 2021. And then went to New England. And is pretty much their only wide receiver. Because you got Kendrick Bourne, Juju Smith-Schuster, Bill. Everyone's favorite wide receiver, Bill. And then, oh yeah, you want something else, Glenn? Well, I was going ahead and like looking at random games I can go ahead and play. And one of the games I realized I have installed that I can play whenever I feel like it is good old Red Dead 2. You know, the famous game, Red Dead 2. Yeah, talk to you later. Bye. I'm still shocked to know that former 49ers wide receiver Kendrick Bourne is my cousin.
That's about it. See ya.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about. And I have no idea how to save it. You got the wrong guy. I know him. The Wolverine. That down his entire world. Well, my entire world needs you.
Speed running an intro here. I just learned about some of the most entertaining drama of 2024. I saw it through Evil Pineley's video covering the situation 2 weeks ago, and it is still going currently today. It's about the CEO of a parchment paper business losing his mind and having this whiny temper tantrum meltdown, all because he watched a TikTok video of a girl being cooked a meal by her father.
So when I told my dad I was going to be getting him the same pants that Gordon Ramsay has, he was so excited. I'm talking about the Hex-Clad pants, and today...
It's a super innocent video of this girl's dad making a meal. And the CEO of ParchmentPaper.com was angrier about this than he would be if he walked in on his wife having sex with another man. Though it is quite the stretch of imagination to envision this guy, this lunatic, with any kind of companionship in his life. So after watching this, he was infuriated, went on the actual company's business account, and left a comment, which started a series of events he couldn't have possibly foreseen.
I posted a video yesterday of my dad cooking for me with these Hex-Clad pants that we had gotten. There was a comment on there where the person goes, "Must be tough living a life on easy mode." I also just think the comment was rude at first, so I responded with, "Lucky to have parents who make it possible." They responded, "Yeah, we get it. You have no skills and family money."
That's already such a weird comment right there. Must be nice living life on easy mode. when it's just the girl getting cooked a meal by a caring father. Like, how bitter and miserable can your life possibly be to just see something like that and be like, I gotta give her a piece of my mind? That's a line that's usually used in reference to camming or OnlyFans or something. Must be nice living life on recruit difficulty because men are giving you a ton of money just to be hot or be naked or something. And this guy's taking that same energy and putting it into this situation where it's just a girl being cooked a meal by her father. Make it make sense. So he's so upset that he's doing this from the actual business account for parchmentpaper.com. So the Parchment Paper Patriot is really having a conniption. And then the poster responds saying, you know, it's supportive family, got lucky. She said she didn't even find it rude at first, which I don't know how you would see that as anything other than rude. But regardless, her response was super sweet, and he gets even more heated about that, fucking steam coming out of his ears, and goes, yeah, we get it. You have no skills and family money. What kind of projection is this? Holy insecurity. What do you mean you have no skills? All she did was show a video of her dad cooking her a good meal. It's ridiculous to assume that she has no skills. It's based on nothing. She could have bow hunting skills, nunchuck skills. She could be one of the most skillful human beings on the fucking planet. We have no idea. And then he's going, it's just your family's money. You're suckling off their bosom because your parents have money. What is happening here? Do you have no skills because you probably order Uber Eats all the time? Is your skill just ruining businesses? Like, I mean, that's a pretty cool skill, I guess. But anyway, this is only the beginning of his rampage, and he just fully self-destructs over the course of the next few hours. It's like Chaozu from Dragon Ball Z, when Chaozu lands on the Nappa and blows himself up with the sacrifices of vain because Nappa barely felt anything, really. That's what happens here. Parchment Paper Patriot blows up, and the girl, totally fine, and makes an absolute clown out of this guy. Dunks on him. She obliterates this man.
At that point, I'm just like, okay, what the hell? Like, maybe this account is hacked, because from a business account, that seems kind of weird. So I send them an email, and I'm like, hey, like, I think somebody's on your business account, like, leaving cyberbullying comments. Didn't say anything else. That was it. And then I get an email from the CEO of...
I think anybody in their right mind would assume that that business account is hacked, because what little toddler would be shitting their pants, soiling their diaper over something as simple as watching a TikTok video of a girl being cooked a meal by her father? So I think that's very sound logic. Oh, this account must be hacked. I'll let the business know. So she reaches out, and the CEO himself, Brandon Howard, steps forward, saying, I don't consider stating factual information is cyberbullying, but if you're offended over a comment about having no skill set while getting to frolic through life with family money as bullying, I'd call the cyberbully police, delete the comment, and move along. Cheers. Brandon, I think the department we need on this case is the cringe police, because Jiminy Christmas, holy cannoli. Oh, yeah, you tried a facts don't care about your feelings moment there. What facts are we talking about? Her having no skill set? You have no idea who she is. You know nothing about her. All you watched was her get cooked a meal. I'm sure your parents cooked you meals at some point, right? Maybe they don't anymore because you're probably insufferable to be around, so they probably cut you off. I imagine that's the case, which is why you're so upset over this moment. I don't see at all how this would be indicative of her just frolicking through life, coasting off her family's money. That's all unreal leap in logic based on nothing at all. And honestly, she was like a good Samaritan here, like looking out for your business, thinking that you might have been hacked because of how awful this behavior is and how terrible the look it is for your business. And then you double down and make things significantly worse by being this big loser. Also, I love the chutzpah here from Big Baby Brandon to claim that she was offended over his comment, when this sensitive worm was offended first over her being made a meal. This guy needs to call the ambulance because he can't stop crying about this video of a father making a meal for his daughter.
Considering my parents literally grew up in mud huts, worked their ass off to get out of India, get us here, and get me to the position that I am and able to have a full-time job and a side career, he goes back to the page and goes, cyberbullying is even more funny, and the fact that you emailed us to tell us is actually hilarious. Enjoy frolicking through life and leave the rest up to us adults who create actual economic value without a trust.
Yeah, leave the heavy lifting up to the real adults, like Brandon Howard, CEO of ParchmentPaper.com. It's comical that the Parchment Paper guy is trying to act hard here. Like, I don't know what he expected to happen. He just looks so stupid. claiming that she's like a trust fund kid based on nothing. Literally nothing. All just gobbledygook here. All you saw was a video of her getting made a meal by her father. How could you possibly connect all of these weird dots? To me, it seems like the person who's really frolicking through life on easy mode is you, who has unlimited time in the day to respond to random people on TikTok and leave comments that just let everyone know that you're an outrageous asshole. Like, you must not be doing that well business-wise, if that's what it's boiled down to here.
They did send me a legal notice. It came from info@parchmentpapers.com, and it says that they are really worried about the safety of their team. If I don't remove the defamatory posts on TikTok, they will be taking legal action, which I don't believe it's defamatory
Because it's not defamatory at all. All she did was share his comments, which are public, in that email, his statements, all from his mouth. This stupid douchebag is just doing one of those desperate Hail Mary maneuvers when they have nothing else left and trying their absolute best to save a sinking ship from the holes that they themselves have poked in it. And it doesn't work, and it actually leads to him looking like even more of a clown, because she points out some pretty interesting things about this cease and desist.
So yeah, I don't believe it's defamatory. I also don't believe you have a legal department because you signed it incorrectly. It says legal department at parchmentpapers.com. You forgot the dot. Did you forget to delete the part where it says your contact information because you're using a template? And also, what's with the cease and desist? I thought it was CEASE. Who's doing your spell check?
Good heavens, Brandon Howard did some ayahuasca and tried to send a cease and desist and lost himself somewhere in the sauce. So
Well, got lost in the sauce. I can't believe this.
Legal department at parchmentpapers.com. And then here's some more information on it, I suppose, where he left in your contact information in brackets. So, as she points out, that means he's most likely using a template here. That is actually that shit on a teleprompter where it's like, wait for applause, and you say it out loud, and you're like, oh, I made a big because I wasn't supposed to read that. He fucking left that in. This absolute buffoon. And the goober doesn't even know what a cease and desist is. He did cease and desist. Holy shit. I think he's the only one that works in this company. Nobody else saw this before the email got sent out? His supposed legal department okayed this? If he does have a legal department, they need to be fired right now. They need to get fired yesterday. Because that is a disgrace. That is not a legal document whatsoever. Fucking your contact information in brackets, cease and desist. You couldn't have made that any worse. This legal document he tried to send over is now more worthless than the parchment paper that he's built his life upon.
Another day, another email. This time, you decided to fix the typos. Congratulations. And you also told me you're fixing the typos. Very interesting thing for your legal department to say.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. She is cooking him harder than the meal that her father cooked her in the first place that started all of this. I love how he proudly calls attention to fixing the typos. Like a student in class, like, oh, excuse me, teacher, I fixed the spelling mistakes in the cursive. Fix the typos just in case you couldn't figure out. We're very serious about this issue, as your direct actions to intentionally harm to us. Oh my god, the grammar is diabolical as well. And our company is not being taken lightly. We expect action to be taken within 48 hours. See attached. It's probably a picture of Brandon Howard's butthole here going spread goatsy on her. So, this is clearly, again, written by someone that is lacking a fourth-grade education. Brandon, I think your first hire at parchmentpaper.com, or, pardon me, parchmentpaper.com, should be for yourself here. This is bad. How you even attempt to run a business is beyond me. I guess they just let anyone into the parchment.
When you find a deal on your favorite thing in the McDonald's app and order it, does that technically count as online shopping? Save money with you. At participating McDonald's, prices may vary.
Paper industry these days. But, yeah. So, Brandon again tries to strike back here, and again looks super dumb for it. But congrats on fixing the typos, idiot.
But, your cease and desist at the bottom, I saw that it said rocketlawyer.com. So, of course, I had to call them and ask them, is this a real legal document? And they said no immediately, and they said this looks like a phishing scam, and you should probably not respond.
Oh god, even rocketlawyer.com's shooting spitballs at Brandon now. Just saying that, no, it's definitely not real. It's probably a phishing scam. Don't respond to it. Oh, what do you use the parchment paper for, Brandon? Honestly, it's almost poetic that the guy who owns a paper business can't read or write very well. I think that's poetic almost.
Anyways, then you decided you're going to start using my work email, which is public, to sign me up for corn sites, for Scientology, but you forgot that those companies will actually send you the IP where the accounts were made from. And it's funny because it's pinging in California, and I'm not in California, so... But I do remember that on Trustpilot, when you had your address up, it was coming up in California. Suspicious, huh?
Brandon's out here collecting L's like they're the Infinity Stones. He is greedy for that shit. He can't stop losing. And I can't stop thinking about how he signed off that legal document about, like, having 48 hours to comply or whatever, trying to give it, like, a deadline, like, this is the ultimatum. You've got to do it within 40 hours, or else it's going to get serious if you couldn't tell. That's just so lame. I feel like he must have just watched Mission Impossible at some point. This message will self-destruct upon finishing. That kind of thing, and he tried to channel that into this document here to give, like, a sense of urgency, but it falls so flat.
But you want attention so freaking bad because you will not stop talking about this. You are basically the only one who is still talking about this at this point. Since my initial email to you where I thought your company was hacked, I have not tried to contact you. At first, you were laughing and sipping Mai Tais on the beach, and then you were having crybaby sales because this was drawing you so much attention.
So this video is only 3 days old, which is weeks after Brandon's biblical meltdown. And he's still going on about it. So this is a screenshot from his crybaby special, which, oh my god, the irony almost makes me sick. This fucking guy lacks self-awareness to an almost delusional degree. He is the only one that has been crying. He started with the waterworks and the French cries because he watched the girl get cooked a meal by her father. He is the crybaby. And yet he's still trying to push it on everyone else like they're the problem. Our thousands of real customers will appreciate this. On sale, custom dimensions on demand. Boy, howdy, Brandon. Custom dimension parchment paper? I'm out the door. I gotta get on that right now. All these real customers are probably just
What?
so
No,
excited by this.
game. You
Nothing
can't pull that
makes
shit.
me believe in a company quite like them referring to their customers as the real customers. I'm sure there's probably dozens of them. Dozens.
The fake legal letters were not working. You thought it would be a smart idea to reach out to my boss at the agency that I work for and ask him to remediate the situation for you. You thought you could tell my boss to tell me to delete my videos just because you involved your business by commenting from your business profile does not mean that you get to include my place of work.
Pathetic, slimy tactics from an absolute greaseball here. So he apparently contacts her boss to try and whine to him to fix it, which obviously didn't do anything. Brandon, this is so sad. This is so embarrassing.
When all of this failed, you thought it would be a great idea to send me one more email stating that you will deal with it as you see fit, whatever the hell that means. And then you decided to add this banner to your website. I'm sure you think that
This is when it gets so spicy. We do not support woke, feminist, cancel culture, hate mob groups who do nothing positive in our community. On his official parchmentpaper.com website, this guy has lost his marbles. He's off his board right now. He's going sicko mode. Brother, what are you even talking about? All she did was showcase your comments and made fun of you. What is the woke feminist cancel culture movement here? You made yourself look stupid and people clowned on you for it, rightfully so. You are the problem. And also, didn't you just try one of those cancel culture maneuvers by contacting her boss and her place of work to get her in trouble because of you and your beef with her? How can you lack self-awareness to this degree? It's almost criminal, I would say. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. So, he's got this now proudly posted on his website at that point. And I also love how he says that she does nothing positive for the community. When you came out of nowhere, the negative Nancy, just saying that she lives life on easy mode and has no skills and relies on her family's money, all just because she had a video of her father cooking for her. What are you talking about? What positive shit do you bring to the world, Brandon? Now, I will say, that section right there is just so outlandish with the woke feminist cancel culture mob being on the paper's website. It's so over the top that I half believe that might actually be faked by somebody, and I also struggle to believe that Brandon would be competent enough to even put that on his website in the first place. I just don't think he has the capability to do that. and I really don't think he has a team around him. I think it's just him. So I think that one might not be real. But to argue against that point, his statements on the official Black Label Paper Instagrams echo that same sentiment about like the woke cancel culture mob and all of that shit. So there is a chance that it's real. There is a very good chance that it's real, but I do want to put it out there that I haven't been able to 100% confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is, because as of right now, it's not on the website. But he could have just deleted it after backlash.
But you continue to talk about it, you continue to make stories about it, and you continually want the attention. As if all of this was not enough, you decided that you were going to start making all of your stories on your Black Label Paper account involving your other company now for no apparent reason. Take down another company, why don't you?
So this is his other business that he's now calling in off the bench for this drama. I cannot imagine why he thought that'd be a good idea, but it's Black Label Paper. So all of his businesses are parchment and paper related, and I would wager a guess that the quality of his product is most likely atrocious, probably not even worthy to be toilet paper if I had to guess. So he goes, all you fucking losers need to stop messaging us about a fake TikTok account made by her and her dumb-ass minions because her fragile little ego couldn't handle a couple smart-ass comments on IG about skill set and money. I've never had the commie bullshit app TikTok in my entire life. A bold-faced lie. Also, why would you be posting this on your business account again? Like, your real customers that didn't know about any of this are now being made aware of it, and you look so weak and pathetic in all of it. And tell that little, oh my god, oh, what? Oh, I can't even read these. Holy shit. Fucking losers, I swear, it's been 2 weeks almost and still have to deal with this childish bullshit. You are the only one keeping it up, by the way. You are the only one that still is doing this and engaging with it. No one else is talking about it. This drama has dried up. It's gone stale. But he keeps putting it on people's radar. He keeps serving this up on a plate to us. He's cooking it for us. And we're eating it. He's doing it. He's the chef. She is too immature to settle this privately, and I'm not going to let some woke hate mob ruin my reputation because they live in some mystical fairyland of make-believe and think because they have 20k followers they're doing something in life, clown emojis. I also can't help but laugh at how much he keeps trying to throw out woke, cancel culture, all of that kind of shit. Just a bunch of buzzwords that don't even apply here, because all that happened was she showed these comments from a laughably embarrassing CEO that he publicly made, and then shared his email where he doubled down on it. That's it. It's all his fault. There's nothing else beyond that. And he just can't accept it. He can't come to terms with reality because he lives in the mystical fairyland. Like, he's in the fucking...
It's full of critical thing, Elden Ring's DLC. Yep, time to watch the 3-hour video.
Oh, that's big. They changed the Bandai Namco logo so it doesn't flashbang you and burn out your eyeballs when you start up the game. That's a big change. There's a fist/claw strength weapon immediately as soon as you go in. It's really fun. I'd recommend it. That's perfect. It's like they made the DLC just for me. They were in the boardroom meeting. They said, how can we make sure Charles has the biggest smile on his face? Oh, I know. Give him access to more fist weapons. Let him punch things better.
Some fists some more stuff.
Shadow Realm? Yukimoto's gonna be here with all his friends? Oh, no cutscene or anything? Just instant transmission here. Hey, welcome to Shadow Realm. There's a big thing over there. I'm gonna go kill it. Oh, it's moving. It's alive. Not for long. Here comes my fists.
Goddamn. God trucks just went whoop it beat.
I can't see it so far. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I'm not even making a dent. I've dodged the 0 days. Until right then. That was a lead proc right there, and it still did no damage. I thought my dodge timing was perfect.
7 light. Okay.
My first kill in the DLC, it feels great. Favorite food from Taco Bell? Maybe the gordita. The cheesy gordita crunch or whatever it's called. I can't remember. We did a whole tier list though. Oh, that screech. Oh, it's you! Beast Claw. Oh, my. Okay. I can do it better than you can. Oh! Okay, everything's really tanky.
Oh, Juju, what?
Oh, you son of a bitch. What? In my face, too? Really? Okay, thank you. Rest in peace, my friend. Beast Claw acquired. Let's try it out. You see the astronauts that went into space with a Boeing rocket are stuck because of the malfunction? Did not see that. Sorry to hear it, though. This looks really good.
Get up to the point I can take a play.
Try to put frag on it. What's my weapon art?
Start the play, start the play, start the play. Are you fucking what? Oh, I forgot. You can see on the back of your fucking head where the ball is. Yeah, we fixed it so they don't do that shit. But they still do that shit, because fuck you.
So I guess to be fair, this is a level 1 item. Oh, hold on, there we go. We got a frog. Okay, I'm dead. Yeah, man. He's hit hard. Alright, thanks for the great hammer. Probably something behind the waterfall, there always is. Nope. Just a big fuck you, I guess. I don't have Smithing Stone once, are you kidding? Alright, Beast Claw is plus 12. This has to hit for a little bit of damage now, you would think, right? Let's see, how's it do against these little guys? Not that much damage. I really like the moveset, though. Western Nameless Boss Melee. Is this a boss? It is. Wow. Man, even at plus 12, this does no damage. I'm gonna have to swap. I had to bring it to plus 25 to do any damage. Actually, that's not bad. No, it's kind of bad. I barely tickled it. Oh. Lucky. Okay. Quite a fight we got going here, bud. Ooh, that came out quick.
Jesus Christ. If that was a running back, I'm pretty sure that running back would have been murdered.
He said, not my DLC. Are you kidding? I shouldn't even bother trying to... You have an Estus? He also doesn't take bleed damage, huh? Oh, he takes bleed. That doesn't make sense if he goes. Fuck. I shouldn't have tried to just heal that. That's on me. That was on me.
Gonzalez picks that off, we might actually had a chance to return the ball. The touchdown there. Bentley just got fucking chucked.
Oh. Oh. Take it. Just take it. God damn it. That was clutch.
Yep, Gibson got that fucking speed active.
Gotcha. What? Okay. There, gotcha. 3 tries, we'll take it. Not my cleanest of runs, but it's what it is. Do everything, actually. I am going to try and kill this guy again, even though he has infinite health. Damn near infinite health. Still got sniped by that. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's not this. You're better than this. I just realized I forgot the crag blade. I also did not use my physic. That is definitely one I cannot jump over. That is a whole wall of flames.
Gibson might literally be the only player I have that can do shit.
Yeah, but I
I
do more
personally
damage than
think.
not do it. Well, maybe that's his thing. Maybe it has to be this rule. Let's see. That's exactly what it is. It has to be this rule.
The action boot, one of my favorite plays in Madden. No! That was a throw! That was a fucking throw!
Oh, you didn't solve.
I hit the pass button. You saw that. Did throwing motion. But no, that's a fumble.
Hey. Hey.
You gotta just fucking hit them if they go for a run.
All right.
Come on, Barmore.
The 45-minute boss fight.
Jack's gonna be fast.
That is the tankiest enemy in any Souls game ever. Actually, like fucking 40 million HP.
Oh, Gonzalez did that pick, baby. The way he just flew in off screen and just went boom, mine.
Right now.
Come on, Gibson. First down. Make Juju go up. One out. Go, Drake. I got this play, depending on how this play turns out. Max Williams with the touchdown to end the third. I'm gonna be doing an actual franchise mode of of the Patriots when the game comes out. I just want to do one now with an old Madden, with the older Madden, to see how it's gonna feel, how this team feels already in this game. It's bad, it's very bad. No, let him! God damn it! Ah, that's a tornado, I think. Nope. Probably just like a fucking bruise or some shit. Maybe fucking like some nerve damage. Maybe like a pinched nerve.
There's no way you're still chasing. That's cheating.
In fact, I think, yeah, okay, yeah, shoulder strain, they just put it on in. Bomoa is by far showing that they might be one of the best defensive linemen we have currently. Because the second, oh shit, yeah, he's gone, he's gone. Fuck. What?
That's a real shame. That's also a big shame.
I hope that got fucking seen. Because what did Gonzalez do there? I was holding up and he's like, starts seizing up.
Oh god, oh god, oh bird. I got so busy drinking that. Okay. That was a close shave. That neck was tough. Man, those enemies right there mean business. They're not playing around. So long without a grace, they've got to be one season.
I'm not even joking. If my birthday is on the day of a 49er game, there will be a 49er stream on my birthday. I can guarantee that. So, since Brandon's not gonna go to my birthday party, right? My mom said I can invite Olivia if I want, so she might go as well. Well, if she does, I don't know. I don't fucking care. Up to huh? You can't legally hit the guy when the ball is nowhere fucking near you. The ball's falling. Brr. That's some bullshit. But just to go with all that, like that means we will get another awesome ass Brandon and Quentin watch 49ers in their game while Quentin explains to Brandon what that team we're going up against did is illegal. I might do it. That's good sports action. Just stream every Niner game I watch. Like stream my reactions to it. So first off, I'm probably gonna be at my. No, actually, I won't be at my dad's because summertime would be over and I'd be at my mom's. Well, wherever I am for the Niner games, I'll be streaming there. Unintelligent species. It's just like me, for real, for real. So, huh? The fuck you doing there? It's just like me. Okay. Yep, 2-minute warning. Thank you, game. Yes, kitchen. Oh, 2 yards short. Gibson, I need you to run it. I need you to run it up. The fuck?
That guy was scary. I have to. This looks like my boss fight. Hello. I purchased the DLC and then there was this boss fight.
Let me guess, roughing the passer defense.
Fuck you!
I do like hockey. Their team's the Lightning. I don't know who will win the cup. Is the lady saying this right now that weird old hag from the story? The old crone?
Just snap the fucking ball when you fucking bitch.
She's up to no good. Pretty cool. Greg. Let's just go all out, by the way. Class. Safe. I keep missing. He's just far enough away that I can't hit him.
Fuck it, let's just send to the mid-season mark.
That was so unlucky. He headbutt me into the lightning bolt that had just come down. Okay. Alright, big guy. That was tragic. I can't see him like stuck inside. No. Harriet? Oh. Man. If I actually would have that. If my, like, 3 jump attacks that whiffed that hit, I would have had it. Could have had that second try. We were close. Like, pretty close. God damn it. Oh. Missed again. Oh, it's so
I'm done. I'm just done with it.